Oh my gosh, we're just live.
We just went live.
We're just live now? I'm
I'm
not done
I'm
eating!
I've officially been born. Hallelujah.
All right.
Just unmuted Twitch on accident and sports were on. I think esports probably, but it sounded like regular sports and it activated my fight or flight.
Fun
Anyway,
stuff. Hi everyone.
Are we just jumping right into it?
I mean, we can
I feel like we
talk.
should give a few minutes.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Or well, I guess we've been live, so people have had time.
Let me ping everybody in our Discord for the second time today, so
Good
that
plan.
they can.
Epic.
What are they gonna do about it?
I will say
Leave.
quickly, this is not a part of the announcement,
Fair.
but just for the logs, I will if anyone was curious, and for legal reasons, I guess, the sound effects I used last episode and what I will be using some this episode, I all get from this lovely website called freesound.org under the Creative Commons 0 license.
Okay.
Because I don't want to. I'm too lazy to attribute anyone.
Thanks, Chris.
So if you're curious and you're like, I want that sound of the
running.
lights turning off and the running, check out freesound.org.
Can we hear one right now?
Is that where the slurping sound came from too, or what?
Do you want? I don't want to spoil a sound. The only sounds.
No. Give us one of the ones we have, like we've used, right?
Oh, hold on. I don't have anything preloaded.
Oh, okay, my bad. Then don't worry about it. Like,
Hold on. I can.
Hey, Bad Wolf.
Uh,
And also, hi, Crackety. What tea do you have today?
I'm just gonna put. What is this?
Either the liquid or the gauze, Crackety. You choose. Chris, are you playing an effect or?
I played one at a moment and it was a clip from like a copyrighted song and I quickly stopped it.
Thank you.
Hold on. Oh, do I even have this set up right? This is
There's
actually
only so many
good.
times you can joke about being DMCA'd before the audio, I'm being DMCA'd is probably
Yes.
gonna get you DMCA'd, so.
Okay, let's see what this is.
That one's fun.
Okay. I don't
Give me
know
that
what that
synth.
was.
Give me those
Nice.
Stranger Things vibes.
yeah.
I had my finger on the mute button because I don't want Twitch to come in here and break my knees.
I'm fairly certain that was not like an actual song or something.
They'll send you a
I
button.
think that was also from Free Sound.
They'll send you a button, and when you press it, it breaks your knees.
Anyway,
Oh.
I think I've given the viewers enough time, so I'm just going to go right into welcome to TurnTables RPG. We are, in fact, if you don't know and you aren't familiar, an experimental tabletop RPG stream where every player GMs and every GM plays. That's kind of our thing. We kind of do that a little bit. We take turns at the end of every mystery, switching our GM and telling a long-form improvised story in the hopes that, you know, we all have fun here. We're playing Monster of the Week. If anyone doesn't know this, we're playing Monster of the Week. It says in the Twitch name.
It's like right there in really big letters.
Big letters.
Yeah,
It's
on screen.
the people are called keepers. We say GMs sometime. It's all the same thing.
It is.
We're returning for our second season, actually, of Monster of the Week. But don't worry, because the new season is taking place in a new setting with new main characters. There are some returning NPCs and plot elements from season 1. But if you would like to check out season 1 to get some of that context, you don't need it to understand everything that's going on. But if you do want it, you can check out the VODs that are on YouTube. Dustin, can you tell us more about such things?
The VODs are on YouTube.
Chris.
Okay, that is exactly correct. Our VODs are on YouTube. Monster of the Week Season 1, as was stated, if you want to go through all of that. How long is it, Chris?
The total length of the
34.
VODs is 142 hours. If you're just looking at the role play, it's about 120.
I got 120 hours. So, just set aside 3 work weeks.
Maybe we should
And-
just stick to saying 34 episodes rather
And
than
you
the amount of
said-
hours that it will take someone to go through.
But
I'm very time focused.
I know. It's good to have
Or-
these numbers.
The thing is, that's not the only thing available on our YouTube. We have VODs from all across our repertoire of very entertaining shows that we put on, including Uncharted Worlds, Return to OE, which was our spacefaring one from last summer, as well as all of our Tiny Tables one-page RPG content, which are a lot easier to digest. They're bite-sized, one episode and you're done. So, very, very nice, like, pop it on in the background while you do other things sort of thing. It's one of my favorite things to do. As well as our first PowerPoint party, which is also a one-time thing, and it's wild. And I make some very good points and will change your mind about something that you thought you hated, but you don't. So follow us on social media as well at Turntables RPG on Twitter, here, and Twitch. I believe we have an Instagram. We don't have a TikTok. Maybe someday. As well as join our Discord, where Masha will call you a nerd and at you multiple times a day.
I only did it once today. Saul did it an hour ago.
Oh, okay, my bad. My
Oh,
apologies.
okay. We're just tossing
my
everybody's
apologies.
dude.
But Masha, you can absolutely defend yourself because it's your turn.
I didn't read this ahead of time, otherwise I would have gotten like a fun prop or something, but I don't have one. Turntables RPG wants to wish everyone a happy Pride Month and talk. Why am I doing like
I've got a
influencer
prop.
voice?
Yeah,
What's
I know.
happening?
I like it. Keep it going.
Hi everybody,
Hey,
welcome to my
gang.
YouTube channel. I want
Smash
to wish
that like,
everyone a
subscribe button.
happy Pride Month and talk a little bit about our charity fundraiser where we partnered with the Trevor Project. If you don't know who the Trevor Project is, what are you doing? They are the largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. Please join us in donating to their cause and protect our LGBTQ youth. With your incredible help, we've hit our first 2 milestones. We're going to be playing Mars's one-page RPG Beyond Genesis. More information about that later, I think. And we will also be having another PowerPoint party. So if you want to hear us basically Brian, David, Gilbert ourselves into circles and chaos, that's kind of what it is. We're very excited to add that our final milestone at $1,000, which we're not far away from, will be a fully produced episode of the Snack Check podcast. Dustin has Kirby's. Please look at him.
They're
Wonderful.
very cute.
I have Kirby. I only have one though. No, I have two.
Oh,
Where's my
nice.
other Kirby?
I have none.
I
I do
don't
have.
I have been challenged.
I have none. I
have-
have none Kirby.
I don't
None
have
Kirby
any
left
Kirby's.
me.
Octopus.
I have
I
a little
ha-
horse.
I have a very round Pokeball.
I have a little horse.
It has a dragon.
I have a
genie in
little
it.
buffalo. I have the This Is Fine dog. He's not a Pokemon, but he should be. I have a lizard.
I love that cat. Hey.
Also,
and I have a snake.
I also have this
And the
Someone
snake's
else will
really
talk
big.
about this too.
That's a dice holder that my brother got me. It's very cool.
This is very Turntables circa 2020 when
Yeah,
we would
this
just
is
Like we were
very...
just
We would- for
sharing.
anybody-
Yeah.
Yeah, we
for
would
anybody
have
who hasn't
like
been around for a long time, we would often when we were having like meetings,
Green
like
Lantern ring.
planning all of this and figuring out what we wanted to do, there would just be like a solid hour at the end of every meeting where all of us would get up from our desks and just pull stuff out of our houses and show each other like children at show and tell.
Sounds
And
good
it was
fun.
really
It's
fun
true.
because we would just stay up really late being like, look at this item I own. I think that's why we don't get along so well, is we just kind of, it's as if we've known each other since youth.
Willy Wonka glasses.
I just put a carrot in my mouth. Give me a second to update. There we go.
This Wooly.
Along with those updates, those wonderful updates, we have new character art for season 2. Once again, drawn by the incredible Patrick Costa, who you can follow on Twitter and Instagram at PCInc_. PC like the computer, and then ink like the stuff that's in a pen, and then underscore like an underscore. But not typed out, just like the button. I've made that more confusing. There's a script right here for me. I don't know why I insist on going off of it every single time. We are also working towards expanding out channel point prizes, our emotes here, and as well as our emotes on Discord, as well as getting captions available. We also got our first animated emote, so those of you who are subscribed, please hit the Chris emote to summon the Twitch Prime,
And
or get morbed, apparently. That's what Twitch Prime is called now.
Yes, I will just.
It couldn't be. It's Morbin time. It's repetitive. You know, we're gonna keep it fresh.
Yeah, we're pushing the we're pushing the bar when it comes to Morbius memes. We're innovative and exciting. Anyone else excited for Joker 2 the musical? Anyway,
that's what it should have been.
Write a letter.
This is not related to Twitch Prime, but my mother was like, "You did not shout me out last week," and I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're all
Things
sorry.
going through her head.
Is that you shouting her out, or
Yeah,
All
this
of
is
us
me
are
shouting
sorry.
her out. I proceeded to then tell her about Joker 2, which did not improve her mood.
That it's gonna be a musical?
Who would've thought?
Was that real?
It's heavily rumored, but it's also being like reported by like really big like journalist sites like the Hollywood Report and other places. My mother was reading about it and was like, "Why is XYZ reporting on this if this is a rumor?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That's what journalism, am I right?" But anyway, so as of right now, Joker 2, The Madness of 2, is supposedly rumored as of right now to be a musical, and the role of Harley Quinn is also rumored to be in early talks to be played by Lady Gaga. So that's fun. If you would like to fund me speaking about Joker 2 more, I guess, give me money. Twitch Prime, let's go, baby. I'm the Joker, baby. Give me your money. Ha ha ha. Laughing XD. My jaw drops to floor. Eyes pop out of head. Give me Twitch Prime.
what a clip right there! A clip right there. That's
Hurry! Someone interrupt him, or he's gonna keep going.
Oh no,
no,
it's
but
me.
anyway,
I
to
have to
actu-
interrupt him.
No,
He's
to
gonna be
actually explain what's going on, if you pay for Amazon Prime already, you can connect your Twitch account because Amazon owns everything, including Twitch. You can then, of course, click the subscribe button, and there's a little checkbox when you click the subscribe button that says "Use Prime Sub," and then you subscribe with Prime for 1 free month, and then you can just keep doing that every single month and do it for me.
Do it for Chris.
Do it for me, please. I'm begging. I'm on my knees. I'm sobbing. I'm crying. Please.
Who just subscribed with Prime? Good timing there, Chris.
Yeah, I
The
was
hype
describing
train is
it as I
close.
was doing it.
Screaming, crying, throwing up.
Etc.
Also, thanks,
etc.,
Crackety
etc.
Jones, for gifting
For
Chris's
once again,
mom.
gifting my mother a sub. She
It's
doesn't understand. She was very concerned. She thought it meant something bad.
Yeah, be nice to your subs.
So much.
Anyway.
One
Why is that
time-
funny, Masha?
It's not funny. One time, when I was trying to say screaming, crying, throwing up, I said creaming, scrying, throwing up, and it's just the vibe is just way off when you miss it like that. Speaking of none of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We would like to
Okay.
plug 2 of the homebrew playbooks that we are using this season. I am using The Tracker, which is a playbook by Mike Keck, who is a wonderful person. And Saul is using The Amnesiac by Jason Burns, who is also a wonderful person. You can find their respective links in chat and follow Jason Burns on Twitter at @JabmanB. The reason I make that comment about Mike is I actually play tabletop games with him. And
Hell yeah.
he's just a very cool guy. And he also has other playbooks on itch.io that aren't just The Tracker. So
Link
you
in
should
chat.
you should go look.
Dang.
Link in chat.
Crackety Jones is just hitting everybody up with gifted subs. Thank
Damn,
you. Thank
Thank
Crackety.
you, Crackety.
Crushing it.
you.
Do we have a train?
Oh.
Train!
No way.
Train!
This is your
This
first hype
has
train
to
ever.
be the first hype train. Wow.
No,
We've
we've
had to have
we've
done a hype
had one
train.
other
We've had
because I
one.
had a train emoji or a train emote next to my name for like
Yeah.
a while.
Okay. Dope.
Mm,
Very cool.
Epic.
Amazing.
Sweet. Let's see if we get to level 2, I guess. Okay. So speaking of supporting, we would also like to give a shout out to our friends at Reflections of Chaos. If
That's
one of my
really-
comrades will put exclamation
I already
point.
did.
Thank you, Chris.
so
We
fat.
are a D&D 5e charity stream that runs on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Central. Currently, right now, I'm the DM. I'm glad that everyone's jumping onto doing the command. Thank you. And I'm the DM, and tomorrow, fingers crossed, will be my final session, and the final session before the finale battle. So that's going to be really fun. So come on by if you're looking for some high level combat and some crazy stuff to happen. So very excited for that. And I will go ahead and pass it to my lovely friend Dustin to talk about someone who is special to both of us.
Well, my friend Mars did make a.
I forgot he
tabletop
changed the command. What is it?
I think
Is
it's
it not?
Dusty, yo.
Exclamation point.
No.
Dustin?
It's
No, it's
exclamation
Dusty
point
because you
Dusty.
requested that.
Well, this wasn't edited in the document in the screen. This
I'm
was
so
Wow.
sad.
I'm
Script.
only human, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I don't believe it. Anyways, yes, hello. I stream on Twitch sometimes. I actually have a brand new setup here, which you might be able to tell by a different background that I've got going on. And
Dusty's got swords.
I do have swords, but it also means that I have like more ready access to air conditioning, so I'm not melting all of the time forever.
Valid.
It's actually like right there, blowing directly onto me in our 90-degree weather currently, and it's wonderful. So I'm hopefully will be streaming soon. What I'm wanting to do, if you've ever heard of this indie game series, it's called Final Fantasy. Very, very, very low budget sort of thing, but I'm wanting to play through every single Final Fantasy game, starting from the first one and working my way up to the not great one with a boy band in a car traveling across the country.
Nice.
Is that the PS4 one?
Yeah, that's 15.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I basically I want to play through all of the mainline ones, and then I actually have some things set up as far as challenges for like a number of followers, number of chatters, things like that to unlock like the side games too, like Final Fantasy Tactics and games like that. But basically, I'm wanting to go through all of them because I love the series, but I've actually not beaten most of the games. So this will be an excuse for me to actually beat the JRPG games. So be on the lookout, as well as for an actual official TM schedule for my streams, so that I actually like force myself to stream
Love that.
from time to time. So
We also just got a donation
Hey!
of $50 from Chris's mom. Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
That's so kind of you.
My
Thank
mom.
you.
Thank you, Chris's mom. Now we have to shout you out all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. That
You could have
is
just
that
done
is a
this
good
and
way to
it's
get
yours.
yourself shout out is to donate.
Don't
Just
do,
saying.
don't.
Can she give us a special message to read?
There is no message, no. But if you'd like to say something in chat, we will repeat it several times over, probably.
We will repeat it so many times.
Thank you, Bad Wolf.
And I just wanted to mention the donation. But I believe Chris is next.
Okay. Speaking of my mother, my mother made me, and you know what I make? Art. Wow.
Good.
That's good.
We're snappy here. We're quick on the draw. And I don't. Sorry, I got very tired and got a headache before I sat down, and so and then I took 4 Advil. But anyway, hello, I'm Chris Allard. You can find my art at chrisallard.net. I have a commission tab that you can you can commission me for art of various sorts and things. Yeah, there seems to be something happening in chat that I'm not aware of.
Just look at the last message about Turntables RPG.
By Turntables RPG. What? If we
It's-
get
it's
900, we'll
screaming and
create a...
scrying.
No. No. What even would that be, and how would we get it on Twitch?
Screaming, and throwing up.
We'll figure it out.
That's not even what she said.
That's
She said
It's
even
screaming
better.
and scrying because I fuck up screaming and crying like it's the consonants.
Oh,
you know?
that makes
Oh, it
sense.
was
brain do
Still.
the thing. Like when you want to say organism and something else comes out because it's just letters get mushed up in brain.
Have I ever
God.
told you about the Dicks and Tears story?
What?
No.
My friend was in 7th grade and was giving a presentation on ticks and deers
Oh,
and messed up the words.
that's unfortunate.
I just realized I don't have my good camera on. I'll fix that in a second. To Dicks and Tears in front of her entire 7th grade class. Sorry I'm calling you out, Anna.
That's the name of my autobiography. Kidding.
Speaking of the legacies that we'll leave behind, Mars, will you please talk about the round us out?
Oh my god.
I made a game and you should play that, but also I just realized I remembered what I was going to promote last week and then I forgot what it was and then I remembered the next day. But in 2 weeks on the 24th, 2 weeks and a couple days because it's on a Friday, I am going to be streaming a D&D one-shot on a Twitch channel, which I've copied the link to and putting in chat. And at that D'Angelo, I'm playing it with me and the DM and 3 other people, and it's all it's an all queer cast because it's Pride Month and hell yeah. And basically you can donate to affect the stream or make us do silly voices or stuff, and then at the end the funds we raise get split, so we get to work on more projects and stuff. So it's very cool. I don't remember everyone else who I'm doing it with, but I know I'm playing for the second time again with I played with them last year, but I'm playing with Dare from Transplaner RPG, and don't remember who else I'm playing with, but lots of great people. You should come check it out. It's on the 24th. It'll be cool.
Hell yeah.
Also, you can download my game, but that's I've been talking about that for a while, so. Oh, what time am I playing? Good question. I think at night, but I don't remember. I just remembered like 5 minutes before we went live, and then I was trying to pay attention to announcements and also forget not also compose what I'm working on. But I believe it starts at, I have it. Call time is 4:30. Session starts from 5 to 8 PST. So
I know what time that is. I'm on BST.
yeah.
Wow.
Whatever 5 to 8 PST is. So I believe that's 7 to not, I can't add, 7 to 10 Central.
8
That's
to 11
basically-
Eastern.
That's our
Yeah.
time. That's
Yeah.
this time.
So
This time.
so you can
No?
just do that.
I believe the 24th.
But on a Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday.
So it's like here, but on a Friday. Same time, different place, different day,
Different channel.
different channel.
Yeah, don't come here.
Same bat time, different bat channel.
I'll be here the same exact time going live, but it'll just be me reacting with no sound or audio to Mars's stream.
Mhm.
So you can open us up both up in tandem, and it'll only make sense if you do that.
I was
Yeah.
actually gonna say it's just gonna be me like eating a salad, just
Okay.
just staring straight at the webcam eating a salad.
What
and-
kind? What kind of dressing?
I won't tell you. It's just gonna be
Oh.
me eating a
You
salad
have to come with a
into the
surprise.
mic. Into the mic.
Dustin's
Like,
guys, I'm
ASMR
hoping-
mukbang. Is that
Guys, what do
is
we think?
happening?
Balsamic vinegar or Caesar salad? What do we
I will
think?
not be saying anything at all. It's just gonna be the sounds
Let's
of
start a
lettuce
poll.
crunching.
What should what should Dustin put on his salad?
All right.
Raisins.
Anyway.
Caramelized pecans.
I'm not a big nut fan. Anyway,
End of announcements.
end of announcements.
End of announcements.
Truly, this announcement end. My mom, you can leave now.
All right. Someone clap really loud so we know it's the end for sure.
I don't know if
thi-
it's
I
picking
think
up.
it- I
so I'm
think
gonna
it-
Discord's
talk.
not picking it.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure he
picking
meant
up.
just like once.
Just one, yeah.
Just once, you know, like the gates they use in movies, you know, like.
No, I don't know what.
Okay,
I don't
never-
wanna
Never
hear
mind
it.
then.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for stopping by. You raised a
Okay.
lovely
Thanks for the
young
donation.
man.
But if you leave, you won't hear Chris's fun character voices.
That is
so-
true.
Oh, true. I just so silly.
If you just lurk, I will not tell anyone that you're here.
Gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I need first name basis.
Bye, Aaron.
I'm trying to. It's weird. I don't like people calling my mom by her first name. It confuses me. I'm like, that's mom. What do you mean?
Okay, bye, mom.
Don't call her mom. It's my
Bye,
mom.
mom.
Sorry.
You have to say just Chris's mom.
Oh, okay.
That's
Bye, just Chris's mom.
Bye, Mrs. Allard.
Okay.
Bye.
Cool. I guess I do have an intro,
Ooh.
Ooh.
and we will be doing that. I need to get out of my silly mood and into my serious phase.
Gotta do a little spin.
Okay, before you say that, Chris, you are currently playing a wacky magician in the body of a raccoon with a crazy.
That's not part of the intro, but that is very funny.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, you don't have to get full serious, man. You know.
Oh no, this is no, we're getting fucked up. Anyway,
Okay. All right.
Man.
Exciting.
No
Can't
more
wait.
adult supervision, and we start cussing.
mom's gone. Time to murder people. In a video game or in a tabletop RPG.
In a
sorry.
video game.
In a
Not real
video
life,
game.
Don't worry.
Gosh, stop! You're making me giggle.
It's like when you would make faces at your friend while they gave a presentation in school.
Yeah, I'll just flip my camera lid down so I'm not distracting.
I'll just sit perfectly still without moving.
Oh
Alright.
yeah, that's good. That's a good plan.
Okay, real good. Okay. We are going to start now.
Don't laugh, Mars. Don't laugh. You gotta stay still.
Mars,
Like-
please. I'm
like-
trying to.
I just looked at chat.
Damn. My mom's insulting me again.
Guys, Frozen video call.
I'm sorry. I was taken aback. I gotta do a
We-
spin.
we see as our vision shifts as we go over the Mount Ira all the way past Fogwell into White Bridge, and instead of stopping on the street where we know our party is at, we actually go further underground. We find ourselves in a dimly lit hallway, medical in nature, as the only thing you can hear in the echo is the slight beeping of a heart monitor. When all of a sudden, it's interrupted by doors slamming open. The same figure that we saw at the beginning of last mystery bursts through the door and slams onto the ground. his neck bursting with blood as he's bleeding over and he's choking on his own blood. As he slams to the ground, his back punctured with needles and tubes. As he's gasping for air, his eyes bloodshot as he smacks the ground with his fist, trying to claw his way away from whatever he's running away from. And from behind him, in a dimly lit, red-lit room, this long, thin, pale arm reaches out. The hand is bigger than his torso as it slowly reaches down and grabs him. And a voice from inside the room goes, "No, no, no. My dinner is not done yet." And just as the hand clenches around the figure, the man tries to scream through his blood as he goes, and he grips his bloody fist onto the ground, into the tile, as he screams and is scraped slowly into the room. And then the doors slam shut. The only sound left in this hallway as the heart monitor starts again and finally is interrupted by one solitary welcome to Turntables RPG.
Why would you slurp noise me? Why would you do that?
Of all the noises,
Very reflective, as you can see.
Welcome back. Just before we get into this, I'm gonna try to do a quick recap. Last session we came across the annual Pig Fest of Zorba County, the county in which the towns of Fogwell, Whitebridge, and Swinehaven, official name Swanhaven, take place in. And tension seemed to be high during this Pig Fest, as seems to be a lot of not infighting, as in there's a rivalry between Whitebridge and Fogwell over who's going to win these tiny games, and in this weird eclectic kind of setup of this festival with a fantasy booth, several different one weird pale creepy guys selling you buckets of mystery meat, big ZDs, various turkey leg booths, all that. Our group has come here initially as a way of maybe to relax after some high tension of the past few mysteries, but only to come face to face with even more weirdness that this festival provides, such as uh, a the mayor of Whitebridge, Zachariah, seems to be acting super weird and hanging out with some weird people, and they get all this information from the head of city council, Judas Whitebridge. Very interesting name, that guy. As he's desperately trying to convince the group to help him out in his investigation of the current mayor, because some policies and numbers don't add up, and he's trying to help. And he's heard of the group's other helping out with missing people, and that is what he hopes to gain from this, is some more information. And meanwhile, also at the same time, in the list of wacky characters they come into contact with is a little raccoon that is being possessed by the spirit of Atticus Campbell, who is a magician, from a very strong magic user who has now been stripped away of most of his powers and put only into a raccoon with very simple visual illusionary magic. And he has asked the group to help him find his best friend Bigfoot, whose name is Eric, and is now traveling with the group as they try to discover what's going on with this festival, with Whitebridge, with just general weirdness in general, as they learn more details of like weird energies and magics in work that they've sort of been hearing echoes of throughout this season. Other weird things that happened. The guy who's selling real live angry turkeys got very upset and was able to dent his car with how angry he was. Arthur is wearing a Pigfest 2022 shirt. Cole, did you eat the mystery meat actually, or were you just getting a bucket?
Nobody saw Cole eat the mystery meat, but it was disappearing.
Okay, but I want to know personally, for my own reasons, did you eat the meat? If you want, you can message it to me, yes or no, and that will help determine things that go on in the future.
No, he didn't actually.
Okay, he didn't actually eat the meat. That's good to know. It saves you a trip to the doctor later.
Yeah.
And then also at the very end of the mystery, as they were all getting ready to go investigate Zachariah's office, Ren, Mars's character, has a vision from their god, Mott, and sort of gets a flashback to Zachariah pulling a book and opening up a secret elevator that went down to mysterious unknowings. And then at the same time, Judas got a text from some local law enforcement saying that someone just died during the street football that was happening, which was the second game of the evening. And if anyone else has anything else that they want to mention, we can do that, or we can just jump right into it.
And Sasha the Formidable will not die.
Sasha the Formidable, we don't know where she is.
Say it, Keeper. Say Sasha the Formidable will not die.
Sasha the Formidable, the young woman who was running the fantasy booth,
will not die.
we don't know where she is during this very stressful situation. All we know is someone's dead.
But it's not her.
We don't know.
But we do know, don't we?
Well, I know.
And so you'll tell us.
Right now,
Sasha?
on this episode of TurnTables RPG Plays Monster of the Week. Cool. So we cut back in, unless anyone, again, just a last call if anyone else has something to say. Okay, so we cut in to the gang hanging out with Judas Whitebridge, and we are here in the moment, in the situation.
News at the moment.
Yes.
Real quick, I leveled up at the end of last session, and I feel like I should share my level up now, so it doesn't seem like I'm trying to do something janky later. I think that I will take another tracker move, and the move that I am planning on taking is called Pass Without Trace. Wonder where that comes from. With your extensive tracking knowledge, you can conceal your group's passage from all but supernatural pursuit. So basically, a ghost could follow us, but maybe the cops couldn't. And the in-game explanation for why I feel like this is something that Fig could do/take is, with everything that happened with you all during my mystery, Fig probably sat down with herself and was like, man, I gotta really protect these guys a little bit better. Like, let me make sure that when we're traveling, we are harder to find. Because it will help us stay out of trouble for longer. Is everybody cool with that?
100%.
All right. That is my level up, and I will definitely forget that I have it.
As it should be. Also, for those who don't know how you level up with failures in Monster of the Week if you roll a failure, and at the end of the session with the end of session questions, where depending on how many you answer yes to, you get 1 to 2 experience points at the end of the session.
And of course, a failure being we're rolling 2d6. If you roll a 6 or less, that is a failure,
6 or less,
including like your stats when you add those up. Anyway, someone just died. We cut back. Do you all just sit and process this news, or is there like a we gotta go?
So remind me again, Keeper, how did we learn this information? Just somebody yelled it out, or
Judas got a text on his phone as you guys started hearing like screaming in the back, like down the street where the street football is happening.
Sure.
And Judas looked up from his phone and said, "Someone just died."
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Someone just died
Where?
during. I don't have all the information, but a Fogwell player on the sports team just killed one of the Whitebridge players.
Arthur's gonna run to the game. He's just gonna once he knows
Yeah,
that
he's
it's
on
like
his
it
way
was
there.
at the game, he's gonna book it at the game.
Yeah,
Right.
Cole
Yep.
was also on his way there.
Same with friends.
Cool. Figure, I assume you're also joining.
Fig will join, but I think that she's gonna watch to see if Judas is going over there too.
Judas once he sees that all like he's like, oh, we're running, and then he falls behind.
Okay, then yes, Fig will also go.
You see Atticus, no, never mind. Atticus Campbell. Is still on Ren's head, correct?
Atticus Campble.
Atticus Campbell, who the raccoon with the illusionary powers has turned himself into a raccoon hat. So he's just chilling. He's not saying anything. So you guys, as you sort of bolt to this scene, you come across like police cars and ambulances and an ambulance has gotten here pretty quickly. Whitebridge being like where the main hospital is, they have an ambulance. They have a pretty good ambulance system. As you see, blood has soaked the asphalt as a person has been covered with a blanket and put it on a stretcher and is being loaded into the ambulance. As one person in like a Fogwell blue kind of football uniform is being cuffed. You can tell his hands are bloody, and you see him as they're sort of cuffing him. He drops his helmet that has a good amount of blood on it, so you can sort of surmise that he bashed this other person in the head several times with his helmet. And the Fogwell football player who's getting cuffed is sort of, cuffed, screaming. His eyes bloodshot and sweaty, as he's like sort of like screaming, going back and forth and say, "You fuckers! I was playing the game. Goddammit! He pushed me." As they push him in the car quickly, and they turn to one of the officers turns to Judas as he sort of is telling him some information, and Judas quickly is like, "Just You gotta get him out of here. Uh, get all the crowd out of here quickly. Just we can't have people looking at this scene. What is there anything any of you guys want to do? It doesn't seem like, since you kind of arrived with Judas, no one is really like, stop, this is an active crime scene. So you guys are free to investigate this any further or ask questions to anyone specifically.
I mean, how many people are still around? Like,
Yeah.
are they crowding the area? Or...
There's a crowd there. Like, pretty much everyone at the festival has sort of crowded to see the commotion as cops kind of try to push everyone, like, motion to everyone, get back, get back.
And the body was already being wheeled away.
Yeah, it's being loaded into the ambulance and quickly, and they've basically gone out of there just to try to see if they can save a life.
Right. And the individual who did the bashing is surrounded by cops in the moment.
He's been put into the back of the car.
The back of the car. That's right. Okay.
I think Ren's gonna try and like follow as they put the body into the car, or the body into the ambulance. I think gonna try and like sort of follow, sort of like look at the crime scene, the murder scene, whatever you want to call it, to try and like figure out sort of more about what happened, looking at like the helmet and trying to investigate a mystery.
Cool. Yeah, roll me an investigate a mystery roll.
First roll of the night.
I need to stop investigating mysteries because I looked at my stats and I remembered that I do have -1 sharp. That's a 4 -1. That's a 3.
That's
Random
also an
mono shit.
experience.
Epic.
And I level up. You know what I'm gonna do with my
Hey.
level up? I'm going to gain 1 to smart.
Okay,
I'm gonna get
that's
+1
valid.
sharp.
To
Getting
just
started.
bring it to a flat 0 for the modifier.
Bring it to a nice flat 0.
Ren, you sort of go to look at the blood, and you try to follow the ambulances. They very quickly load this person into the ambulance and start driving away, and so you're not able to really glean anything off of that. And you sort of look around, and you're like, besides the bloody football helmet and like this sort of puddle / trail of blood that was following the stretcher, you're just sort of like, blood. I've seen this before. Comes out of people, and that's what you're able to glean.
Cool.
So very kind.
Comes out of most people.
Most people. Wow.
Blood facts. It's there sometimes.
I think if it's warranted, Keeper, I think Fig would like to try to, like, just suss out. I don't know, just like we just got here and it seems like tensions are high.
Yes.
So I think Fig would be looking around and just like seeing if there's someone suspicious in the crowd or like things like that. I think what I'm trying to get at is like a read a bad situation kind of thing.
Okay.
Because the last time Fig was in a big crowd and tensions were high, like she almost got arrested by the cops.
Yeah, you
so-
shot into the sky.
I sure did.
Yeah, you can roll read a bad situation.
You see
This is-
a
I could
suspicious
describe this as a
individual
bad
with
situation.
a raccoon hat.
Yes, you see an individual. If you ask what's the biggest dangers,
Oh, buddy.
That's not
Okay,
the
I
answer
got
I
a
would
6
give.
and a 1, which is 7, plus my 3 sharp is a 10.
okay, that's good. So that's a whole 3.
That's a whole 3. I mean, I don't remember every question off the top of my head, but I think the initial thing that Fig is looking for is, are there any dangers we haven't noticed yet?
Okay,
Like,
perfect.
yeah.
That's exactly the question I hoped you'd asked.
Oh boy.
You see,
Uh-oh.
you see a sort of like assessing the situation. Yes, the general crowd has been pushed, or is being motioned away and sort of led away from the scene. But there is still 2 groups of people that are still here besides the cops and you, and it is the football players. They are being interrogated by 2 officers individually, and you can see the White Bridge players are getting very angry. at this whole situation, and they're sort of motioning, and you can't really hear what they're making out, but you can tell that it's sort of along the lines of, why why are these freaks still allowed to be here? They literally let their teammate murder one of our guys, and the cop says, we don't know if they're dead yet, and let's not jump to conclusions.
He's only mostly dead.
Only
a Princess
bleeding
Bride
profusely
reference.
from the skull. We don't know anything. And you can see the Fogwell sort of in reaction to this are also being like, what the hell are they talking about? They didn't try to stop it either. And so you can sort of, as you sort of read, is tensions are high in
Right.
this situation, and you could tell like if like at the sign of a nickel drop, the things could possibly get worse.
I think if the rest of us are effectively still together, I'm gonna lean into the rest of the group and I'm just gonna say, can someone who's better at talking than me maybe convince the cops that they shouldn't be doing these interviews out here? Those teams look like they're about to be at each other's throats, and if you saw what I saw a couple weeks ago, you'd be anxious about it. I don't like this. I think that there's too many tensions high.
Arthur's going to look at Cole.
You see an eye pop out of the raccoon hat on Ren's head and be like, did somebody say talk to people?
Cole is sitting here like this. He's like, if only Philip were here.
Or
Where is Philip?
hear me out.
He's
You
with
could
the
do it.
K-pop boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's with the K-pop boys. Yeah, we didn't mention that.
Don't ask, I think is the name I came up with
Correct.
in the moment.
Yeah, don't ask was in fact.
Because I asked for the name of the K-pop band and you said don't ask.
What's their hit single?
You don't know.
That's it. That's what it
I
is.
love
That's
that
what it's
one.
actually what it's called.
Yeah.
You don't know is what it's
I
called.
want. Okay.
I like this K-pop band that's just like, don't ask about us. You don't know our hit single. Stop questioning us.
That's not
We
even
do
the
not
album.
answer questions.
Yeah, the name of the album is Stop Asking Questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hit-
Arthur's
hit-
just gonna look
hit
at
single
Cole and
number
say,
2 is-
remember, I locked some of these officers in a closet, in a basement once, so probably best that the person who diffused that situation does the talking.
I hate cops.
I know.
And then he starts walking toward the officers. Cole does. Excuse me.
Are you walking up to anyone in particular, or?
Probably not the ones that are talking about how terrible the people from Fogwell are, since Cole is technically from Fogwell.
Okay, so you're walking up to the Fogwell football players and the cop that's talking to them.
Yes.
All right, cool.
And for the record, I will walk with Cole in case shit pops off. I don't want him to be alone with a team of high school.
It's fine.
That's
when has
definitely
Cole
fair.
ever had a problem with high school?
Jocks.
With jocks. I mean, name one time.
Arthur's gonna be in an actionable distance.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you walk up, you see that Brian with an eye is the cop that's talking to the Fogwell football people, and Brian with a Y is talking to the Whitebridge people.
Not confusing at all. Very cool.
That's gonna be
welcome.
so annoying for reports after. Just to be clear, like
Well, you'll probably use their last names. Like,
I hope so.
Yeah.
one is Smith with an I and the other is Smith with a Y.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But it's reversed.
The Brian with an I has Smith with a Y.
That's good. I like that. Anyway, so you see Officer Bry, and that doesn't help, but you see him sort of like he's like trying to calm them down, just sort of be like, just don't pay attention to those guys. It's overall not even worth it. Just please calm down. I just want to ask questions of like what in the world happened here. And so you sort of walk up to this conversation, and Brian with an eye sort of glances like, "Oh God, it's Cole." Uh,
Good reaction.
Van Helsing, what are you doing here?
I mean, I was enjoying the festival.
Okay, yeah. Why are you
But,
not with the rest of the crowd?
well, I mean, is it really smart to question these two groups when they're still within eyesight of each other? I mean, something happened, right?
And we're trying to. Not everyone was paying attention to the street football, so we were trying. So I'm just trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Right. I mean, I can understand that. Uh, but maybe not do it in front of the active crime scene where they can still see the blood of the victim.
Cool. I'm gonna ask you to roll and manipulate something.
Okay.
As you tell this cop how to do their job.
Yeah.
Listen, somebody has to.
It's always
It's
that's
true.
always gone well.
Uh, well, that is 3 plus 2 is 5.
Okay.
Plus my 2 charm is 7.
Okay. Cool. So on a
So-
7 to 9.
Jesus. Sweet
Dustin, my
Jesus,
heart.
Dustin.
So on a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show you that you mean it. If you asked too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. I think he's going to. I think he's going to be turn to you and be like, as much as I would like to get them out of here, it's kind of hard to transport like 20 dudes quickly to a safely distance from each other where they're not in. It's kind of a drive to the precinct. And I can't drive 20 guys, so if you would like to recommend a solution to that.
I mean that you could just walk a couple blocks in the other direction.
Maybe we could just separate them from, again, the scene where a violent crime just happened.
Brian with an eye sort of presses his temples at this very stressful situation at this young as he's trying to deal with a very stressful situation of controlling angry teenagers, and then another not teenager but young person has come up to tell him how to do his job, and it's just sort of like, please get out of here, Van Helsing. I'll move them, just please. Just get out of our hair, Jesus.
I'm just saying, we don't want more violent crime.
He's okay, and then he just starts like motioning to the high school boys to like move away as he leads them further down the street.
Well, that happened.
That was weird.
Yeah. I mean, why were they so violent?
That was more than teenage hormones, and trust me, I've dealt with my fair share.
Is he talking out of the hat right now in public?
There's no one around after the people.
You
have
said there
left.
was a crowd, sir.
No, I'm saying I said the crowd was being moved away.
Okay.
and they're not
All right.
He did
leaving.
say they were dispersing,
All right.
Yes.
in his defense.
You have been, since you have gone to the isolated area where the Fogwell players were, and now that those people are gone, it is just you sort of on one side of a now very empty street as Brian with a Y is still talking to the White Bridge people, and they start driving the cop car with the suspect away.
Arthur will walk up and he'll hear, the question from Cole, and he'll just say, "Seeing the blood of a friend is jarring enough, at least, especially in a sport like this, where they're just blood's rushing all the time. And close quarters, it's a good thing that you separated them."
Yeah, but I mean, and he looks to the crime scene itself. This.
I mean, a couple weeks ago when I first met Miss Merrill and things were happening in the town square with these dogs that had fought, the people almost started fighting too. And I mean, I've seen people go to blows over their animals before, but not with that level of vitriol. So I don't know. I can't say it's the same thing, but it's got something in the water making these people angry.
I mean, this was never the best place in the world, but the rivalries were never this strong. And Cole is going to kind of walk a little bit toward the crime scene to kind of get a better look for it.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use a move.
Okay. Also, Masha, you still have 2 holds. Just
Oh
as
yeah,
a reminder.
I do.
Do you want to use either of those before I do what I'm going to do? Because mine
let-
might lead us in a different direction depending on how Chris.
Would you like me to read the answers or questions?
I'll read them because I have it up.
Ah,
So my options for read a bad situation are: what's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims? I don't know that there are any others, I guess, that I am necessarily looking to answer right now.
Okay.
But I think for not wanting to lose hold if the situation shifts, I'd like to know what's most vulnerable to me.
Mm-hmm. Uh, and just so I understand the wording of the question, that's basically the opposite of what's the biggest threat, right? You're saying what can I attack easy?
I think we've kind of played it to both meanings of what it could mean, which is like, what is the most vulnerable in general? Like, who is at
Mm-hmm.
the most risk? But also, I think it could be like, what is the easiest thing to deal with? I don't think we've ever
Okay.
like formally settled on a particular meaning, so you can kind of roll
Okay.
with it the way
I always figured
I've
it was like
read
it
it.
was a keeper specific kind of question of like, you know, what
Yeah.
they define it as, but
Okay.
I've always read into it as like a what is at the highest risk.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be something that you could attack or something that a monster could attack or whatever. But
Okay.
however you want to run it is fine by me.
I'll give you a few things for this, just because there's nothing that really like specifically I think answers this. Obviously, tensions were high. Now that you've sort of separated the football players more, it's lower. There's still a threat of like these Whitebridge uh, players still seem pretty worked up on the situation, um, and so so there's a danger obviously if things get violent. If they if they attack the cops, what is that? What happens in that situation? Uh, uh, there's so many different variables to that. If things get like, but it seems as though after separating them a bit, that risk is very low. Um, Obviously, if we wanted to get super weird about it, you could say that there's a health risk of just leaving this uh, puddle of blood on the ground. Uh, the
Kind of
football
gross, yeah.
the football helmet is still there, covered with blood. No one has from the police have actually come and is like, we need to collect this for evidence. Um, and Judas is still there, and he's sort of finished talking to cops. And out of everyone here, you're like, that's the only guy who doesn't have, like, the police have guns and we have weapons. He doesn't. He's the only one who's like unarmed. You saw him wrestle a pig, but you don't see any angry pigs around here for him to fight. Um, uh, Atticus Campbell is obviously a raccoon, and he can make people see things, but he can't actually affect things in the real world. And so if a big dog came up and bit him, he'd probably not be in a good spot. And so there's sort
Noted.
of, huh?
Noted.
Okay, thanks.
Hmm.
Arthur gets a dog. Uh, and you haven't seen Sasha in a while, and that's pretty much it. I'm sorry if you want something more specific, I can create something.
No, no, you're good. If there's no like, ah, yes, this is the thing, then
Mhm.
that's totally fine. I appreciate the details. You are painting me a picture of words with words.
Yes. And if you want to see me paint real pictures, check out chrisallard.net. Dustin, what is
Exclamation
Dustin, what
point,
is
Chris in chat.
uh Dustin, what is do you still want to investigate, read bad situations? What's the or you had a specific move?
Yes, I have a move. Oops.
Oh. Cool. Uh can you read me specifically what oops does? I know I had it for Chuck
Absolutely.
and then I only used it like 2 times.
Yeah, this is my second time using it. So, for those of you who don't know, Cole is the mundane, and one of the mundane's moves is just called Oops. And Oops, if you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problems. I just feel like we need something to go on other than
Okay.
someone just murdered here. So I figured now's a decent time to do it.
Cool. You sort of walk around and you see that, and as you sort of examine the situation more, you can see that they had like set up these they had taken like the benches from the official like high school football field and dragged them out here, and as you sort of examine this whole situation as like a bench on one side of the street and the other bench is on the other, where and sort of the blood puddle is in the middle, and you're examining this whole scene, you can tell that uh, both of the football seats, the benches, have red Solo cups everywhere.
It's time to party.
Cole's gonna go take a look at those red Solo cups.
Okay. You pick up, some are like completely empty. Some you see like there's a weird meat residue in the
Oh,
cup.
oh. Um. Hey, guys. Do these cups look familiar to you?
They look like
Oh, they're
every
the
other
they're
cup.
the meat cups.
Yeah.
Are they the meat cups?
Please don't say they're the meat cups. They're so nasty.
It
The-
was
the
out of
meat-
character. It's fine.
These are definitely the meat cups.
Oh, lovely.
You
Means
mean
we
the
have
like?
to go investigate the meat.
I
It-
feel like we should contact the FDA or something about that. I'm not a food inspector.
Next Monster of the Week character, a supernatural FDA agent.
How are you treating this meat? Oh, it pulls out sword.
What do you mean this is a chimera? That narrows nothing. That narrows nothing down.
You're mixing.
Being held at room temperature for more than 4 hours.
You're really letting the harpy meat and the gargoyle meat touch. It's totally infected now. You have to throw the whole shit out.
Cross contamination, baby. It's not
How
allowed.
long? You cooked the cockatrice for how long?
Do you have any idea where this Mothman secreted his goop on? Is it in the water?
Anyway, season 3 would be anyway.
Alright. All of us are actually going to be FDA agents.
We're
Nice,
all
nice,
FDA
nice.
food inspectors.
Hell yeah.
We're-
Love it.
We all moonlight as member like government officials,
It's-
but in reality we're monster hunters.
Is
That's
it
really
is
good.
it is it Munster cheese or
That's pretty fun.
so it's like Munster of the week?
Ooh,
Right.
Snack Shack podcast
Hey.
just becomes a.
It's now canon.
Okay. So you have found the meat cups. Some have chopsticks. Some do not.
Is there still residue of the meat.
Yeah, there's still
substance.
there's still.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, Cole. I don't know if you've kept the KFC bucket of the mystery meat.
No,
you-
in fact, Cole's about to explain what happened with that, but yeah,
Yeah.
But go on.
So, so yes, so there is actual residue. Like there's little bits of chunks of meat that they didn't get to finish in their cups.
What a shame.
More
Man.
for us.
So if they were all eating this, do you think it could have had anything to do with it?
You
I
hear
can't
Fig
imagine-
whisper to herself, prion disease.
I mean, it. Fig just said that this also happened a couple weeks ago too. I don't think that there's a mystery meat brownstone in the center of Fogwell.
I guess you got a point.
Depends on how is mystery meat available outside the pig fest. Why is there so much fucking mystery meat in this town? A town doesn't need mystery meat.
Maybe it was cheap or something? I don't know. Kind of glad I didn't give what I got to Philip now.
Yeah, what happened to that?
I spilled it.
Oh.
Ugh. It's like cooking
Did it-
on the cement somewhere.
Yeah.
Burn a hole through the
It's gained
sidewalk?
sentience.
That's the big bad.
Meat monster.
Just the thing is what it is.
Father, why have you forsaken me?
My only purpose was to be eaten, Father. Why have you done this to me?
I hate
The
this.
opposite of Zeus and Kronos and his children. Please eat me, Father.
Anyway, cool. So you found the meat cups, and you are hanging out talking about meat cups. The police are sort of, you see, finally, at this point, the police are now, dispersing as they sort of take care of the crowd. Some are still talking. They finish up talking to Judas as he sort of is like, and can someone please clean up the blood, please, or do some kind of investigative work? God, and he starts walking towards you guys. Do you guys want to say anything before Judas gets here, or?
Are we keeping this information to ourselves?
I think we could maybe ask him about the mystery meat, because it would be interesting to hear from a council person why they would allow a booth of mystery meat in the first place.
Yep. Also, he's probably the one who can do the most shit about it, because I don't know about you, but I don't have any FDA contacts.
What? I'll save that question for later.
Arthur about
They,
to ask
they
what
make
is
sure
the
the
FDA?
food is.
Correct.
They make sure the food's like not full of rage juice or whatever the shit mystery meat is full of.
Rage juice. You just kind of
Rage
whispers.
juice.
That's our G Fuel flavor. That's what it is. Mystery
Oh.
meat, rage juice.
Totally
The least
hoggers.
The least popular G
Hog.
Fuel flavor.
Okay, so Judas comes up to you as he sort of, is wiping his forehead, stressed, and he's like, I swear, if you ask people to just do their job, they look at you like you're crazy. Have you guys found anything?
Arthur's
You know
gonna
who's in-
pick up one of the solo cups and just like tip it so that the meat juice just kind of rolls out and splats onto the asphalt.
They all
Dairy
seem to
Queen
have
would
drank
be
that.
disappointed. What are you trying to tell me?
Do you know who's in charge of the meat stuff?
I don't know him personally. The mystery meat was a last-minute addition by Zachariah. It was something he has this investor that he's been talking to, and the investors had some connection with this mystery meat guy. and demanded that he be included in the festival.
So this mystery meat guy is someone that you don't know?
I told Zachariah, I was like, you can't just add someone to the that hasn't been fully checked out last minute.
Especially if they're selling something called mystery meat.
Yeah, Zachariah insured me that his investor. He insured me that his investor insured him that it was safe, which didn't seem was a little crazy to me.
Yeah, that sounds awfully suspicious. Is that booth still up?
You aren't near where the food booth is. You'd have to go down the street. You can sort of see that everyone's sort of awkwardly like standing there at the crowding up the booths. Like, is the festival over? Where what do we still had tug of war to do?
Yeah, I think that we should go catch that guy before he leaves if he's still out there.
Not a bad
And
plan.
Fig is gonna start walking towards where all the booths were.
Okay. Does anyone want to do anything else or say anything to anyone before we run to the food booth?
Arthur's just gonna walk past Judas and hand him the cup that he was using to tip over the mystery meat.
Judas is going to take it and be like, and sniff it and smells like meat and chucks it to the side.
Wow, litterer, putting that in canon. Judas is a litterer. Litters.
Canon. Judas is litterer. Unlike Arthur, who is illiterate.
Oh wow,
No.
wow.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything at
Mine
the
is
crime
a
scene?
flaw of the education system, sir.
Is it?
Is it?
Anyway.
I don't know.
Okay, team. Does anyone want to do anything before the cops kind of come in and do their thing and mess with evidence and of the such?
I mean, Arthur can't do anything. I don't really know what else. I mean, there's something Arthur could do, but it would draw a lot of attention.
Valid. Okay. If no one has anything, we will go over to you. Sort of come into the crowd. You you see that a car has pulled up, and Zachariah, the mayor, comes out of the car, and basically is waving his hands like, "Okay, everyone, let's calm down. We're figuring out the situation. The festival will continue as planned. Tug of war will be back. We're postponing tug of war a bit, an hour or two. So just enjoy the food while we can. We're sort of reorganizing and getting as much information as we can. We're opening up the pig pits, so you can bring your kids in there and have them pet the pigs. Everyone gets a free Big ZD's small fry on me. I can't enforce that. I will be somewhere else."
So, someone nearly just died on your festival. Just shut it down, my guy. I don't think anybody's gonna be in the mood.
Don't trust Zachariah one bit.
He's kidding, right? They're keeping this thing open?
Judas sort of leans in and is like, it's very money focused. His investor put a lot of pressure on him to sort of get this thing running and sort of running smoothly.
Do you know who his investor is?
It's I don't know much about them. A lot of the money comes from overseas, in Europe. It's like
Europeans.
I don't know how to react to that. Just it's the checks just say the company's just called like the Baron.
The Baron?
Mm-hmm.
Arthur's
Is
gonna.
that-
Or no, go ahead, Mars.
Is that BARREN or BARON?
It's BARON.
So like some dude. Interesting.
That's I don't know if it's some dude. It's registered as like a company. I don't know how or why he would name his company the Baron, but I don't know if he's actually a baron or how any of that works.
So a company from overseas called the Baron.
Yes,
Okay.
from Europe,
Um.
because they helped fund like all the research that they've done in investigating like the geological area and has supposedly brought in a lot of money for White Bridge.
Real quick before we jump down this very cool rabbit hole with the Baron, is the booth still there? The mystery meat booth.
No, it's gone.
Interesting.
Fun.
Is there anything left behind in the spot that it was?
A big old question mark.
That's where we turn in the quest.
They took the time to take a piece of chalk and write it into the asphalt.
No, there was
And it's
a
just the
big
Riddler.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah.
there was a big. I believe I said this in the last one. I might not have, but there was the only sign on the tent was a question mark,
Oh,
and they've
right.
basically taken down the sign and put it and just left it in the empty booth now. You can tell like if you want, you can investigate this tent further to find anything of interest.
Yeah, I mean, is there like a trail of meat drippings leading anywhere? Like,
You see on the question mark it says, "You can find me if you answer this riddle, Batman." So if you would like to find something, I would ask investigate a mystery for anyone who is investigating this tent.
I'm gonna use a different move, so you guys can do this first. And mine is more pertaining to the Baron.
Okay.
hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll investigate.
Yeah, good plan.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I should investigate.
I rolled 3 + 4 is 7, plus my 3 sharp is a 10.
okay. Hold 2.
Sheesh.
Okay, the questions for investigate a mystery are: what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? And for investigate a mystery, you only get 2. What happened here?
Gosh, that's such an interesting question. So you can tell there's sort of a foldable like table that's been set up on this tent. There's like meat stains on the ground. He didn't put a tablecloth out. The sort of divider curtain that led into the back area is gone. You can tell that they're from like that pretty much everything that was here has been taken away, with only very little hints at what might have been here or what it could have been here. It seems like there was a box of some kind that housed the meat that
That's not
he
code.
that he would come. You see, there's like maybe a leftover solo cup that wasn't used to hold meat. Basically, a guy you can tell in this tent, this very nice tent overall quality wise. He would stand at this foldable table, take the order, put the money somewhere on his person, and go in the back. Well, no, he didn't take money at all. That was the thing. He was giving this crap away for
Giving away
free.
meat loose meat for free. Yeah, definitely not suspect at all.
And he would go back, scoop the meat in a red solo cup or in Cole's case, a KFC bucket, and bring it back out with your choice of spoon, fork, or chopsticks.
Why didn't we investigate this from the beginning? I don't know why.
Because we
Like,
were
I don't know
like,
why
"This
we
is a
just
wacky
let this happen.
motherfucker."
I don't know why we just let this happen.
We were
I
just
think-
like, this man's just whack. Chris makes crazy characters. He's just another crazy guy.
Well, we also kind of dominoed because like at the same time that was happening, Atticus Campbell was happening, and
Yeah.
then
No, it was
No,
there was some steps.
Yeah, Atticus was after, because
Yeah, there was some steps
but
in
yeah,
between that.
but
Everyone was getting their food, and Cole was
Yeah.
the only one who got the meat bucket. But yeah, so this super thin, pale guy with a bowl cut was selling meat in red solo cups and KFC buckets, and pulled raw chopsticks out of his front pocket. and handed them to Cole.
That's right. They weren't even like packaged. They were just
No, they
loose
weren't even
chocolate.
packaged. They were pre-broken.
Mm.
And so he pulled them out of his shirt pocket and was like, "Here you
Yeah,
go."
God. Now that we're talking about it in the light of day, Jesus Christ. You just
You
let this
say that
man
as
do
the
this?
sun is starting to set, so watch out.
My follow-up is, where did it go?
Okay. You can tell. So the thing you sort of piece together, sort of correlating with what happened here and where did it go. You see that the sun started setting, like a few minutes ago, and that is when the person left. And you don't know, and you're trying to see, like, oh, is there like did he pull up with a van like the Turkey Man, or what was what was his deal? And you can see, in this very dense dark tent, kind of hard to see with it getting to nighttime, and also this tent was really well shaded. Um, you look down and you just see a small trail, as if someone was dragging a box uh, down the sidewalk, um, and so you so you see you see a trail of, like, someone was dragging a box down the sidewalk, uh, and the box doesn't seem heavy, so it's not leaving like deep marks or indents. It's just very light, like there is something lightly scraping on the floor, that was leading this way. And you also find under the question mark sign a little card that says, uh, the Baron, and just the Baron. It's this, like, light pink card with dark, burgundy text.
Uh, can I pick that up and see if there's something on the other side?
You pick it up and you turn it on the other side, and it's this silhouette of this old castle, um, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I found this, and I'm inclined to follow this little trail, whatever is here, while there's still just a little bit of daylight. Does
Makes
anybody
sense.
want to join me?
I th-
I don't know that I want to find the source of this, but it's suspicious for sure.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the lead we have.
Yeah.
Cole, do
I
you want to
mean-
do your thing right now, or do you want to just follow the path and we'll address that, after a certain point?
Well, I can go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do, and then because there's actually a thing that, depending on how I roll, it may actually take time for me to be able
Okay.
to do it.
Well, we might save that, if you're okay with it. I think
Yeah.
we will follow the track and then get to a point, and then we will take our break. And then at the start of the break, we can explore that option. We can explore your, move.
That's fine. And who knows? Maybe at the end of this, we won't even need it. So
Yeah. All right. So you start following the trail past. It goes past the pig fence, where you see all these kids happily petting these, super confused, pigs. Like, I should be home by now. My
Or I
wife
should
and
be
kids are
getting
waiting for me.
wrestled.
Judas is following you. Atticus is still hanging in there. As you go down this sidewalk and you end up at this parking lot, and in this parking lot you see a police car quickly drive out, and in the back of the car you see the mystery meat man, uh, look at you as he drives by and waves, uh, as it drives off into the night, and that's where we'll take our break, I guess.
Fake, shoot out the windows.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we'll be back in like 10 minutes. So that would be 40 after the hour, or 20 before the hour, whatever your fancy is. Cool. Thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you in 10. Make sure to get a snack for snack check.
Woo.
Bye.
So bye-bye. See you in a bit. I want at any moment someone to monster to come in and just spook me on stream.
Oh, nice. Yeah, of course.
And
Keep it genuine.
Good,
Good spook.
good
True.
on-stream spook.
I am the Jared Leto of actual play streams. I get very into character.
So method.
Don't be the Jared
I'm very
Leto.
method in that way. God, what a horrible thing that would be to be known as like the method actor actual play like person. Like how would you even do like like I'm constant like just imagine I do that. I'm just constantly Philip all the time. You never talk to me when I'm not Philip.
Gosh.
I do at some point want a montage of just Masha like running around and running back. I think that'd be funny.
I'm positive we have a good chunk of footage
I think we
Of
could do
what?
it.
of you running back and forth / running into the room.
Sorry.
No, it's all.
No,
I
it's
had
fine.
laundry that needed to not be wet for the next 4 hours.
You did your
That was
little arm
valid.
thing, and it was very entertaining. So.
It's my old lady fast walking at the mall move.
So Snick Jack.
I scarfed down a vegan taco that was made of quinoa, quinoa, sweet potato, and beans. And then I also have this very fun sugar cookie that I showed to Mars the other day. But it's a little dinosaur egg, and the dinosaur is coming out of the egg. I don't know if y'all can see that real well.
I
but,
love him.
Oh no! Hurry! Stop it from hatching.
Okay.
It'll ruin the ecosystem. Phew, close one.
Well,
Let it happen.
I'm uncomfortable
Masha,
with the
what are
word
you eating?
hero, but
Masha, what are you eating?
I am currently ripping in half some apricots. So I'm gonna
That's
be
what you
eating,
use to make Pokeballs.
True.
I mean, yeah.
What? I have apricots, little cheese, and sparky water.
That's a fun glass.
Yeah, I got this at one of those like it's like a medieval
Swords.
times kind of thing, except it was pirates.
Ooh.
It was a
Um,
pirate show.
So what
cool.
you're saying
That's
is that near
Sick.
you? Because if so, I'm just saying, if I ever journey out there, you're gonna show that to me.
Yeah, it sounds
You
really
don't-
cool.
You don't have to go if you don't want to. You get to tell me
I'll
where it
go.
is.
I'll fucking go again. I don't want to dox myself. It is within driving distance of where I live.
Okay.
So I guess that could be anywhere. If
True.
you come visit SoCal, then yes, Dustin, we'll go.
Just narrow
I
it
just
down.
wanted to make sure it wasn't like, you got on a plane and flew somewhere, and while you were on vacation, you went to this place and
Nah.
all this stuff. Okay, that's all I needed to know.
What are you eating?
Me, I'm eating never before seen minky jerky. Yet again, been a few weeks, so it's time to crack it out.
Mm.
And
Mars,
Pepsi.
you said, have you found snack or you decided not to snack?
I found snack, and by found snack, I mean I had to go to an eye appointment today right after work, and I grabbed the wrong thing for lunch for work. So my sandwich had meat in it, and I'm a vegetarian, so I didn't have any lunch at work, so I had to drive by McDonald's on my way home. And I was really hungry, so I ordered myself 13 chocolate chip cookies, which is a thing you can get at McDonald's. And then
Interesting. I've never before attempted.
because of the fact that I am one human being who cannot eat 13 chocolate chippy cookies.
Well,
Chip cookies
That's
in one
the
sitting.
correct way to say it.
I am having chocolate chip cookies from McDonald's, which are acceptable.
Very valid.
Everything tastes a little bit like itch relief spray because I keep spraying it everywhere.
I just want to say that I am one human being who can eat 13 chocolate chip cookies.
It was less that I had to that I couldn't eat them all in one sitting, and more that I had to go to my eye appointment that I was 20 minutes late for because I came straight from work.
No, you don't have to explain. You have, what's the word? Self-respect. I don't care, and will happily eat 13 chocolate chip cookies in front of people if I really wanted to.
I'm eating popcorn.
I have small tummy. If only I could eat 13 chocolate chip cookies in one sitting.
Have you all ever played the game Chubby Bunny?
Yes.
Do y'all remember like what your record is?
No.
I don't. That's not something I kept up with. What was
I
your
want
ranking?
to say
Were you
like 8
platinum?
or something, but
I think mine was like mid to high 20s, something along those lines.
Wow.
Yeah.
damn. See, I did it when I was in like 4th grade, so
I kind of cheated though. I just like I mashed up the marshmallows like into my cheeks, so that they took up less space.
It's the way to do it.
It also matters what size marshmallows they were.
They're like not the super jumbo ones, but they're not the regular ones. You know, like they're the ones in the middle. Unfortunately, there are many
interesting.
different sizes of marshmallows.
Cool. So Crackety John says T. I don't see any other snack checks in chat or in the Discord. Join the Discord if you want to see some snack checks.
We want to see
the
your
past.
snack checks.
Team
And show us
T,
your
gross.
snack pics, please.
Oh no.
If we're all good, I guess we can jump back into it for the sake of time.
Time.
Wizard.
Duel.
The Time Wizard.
Cool. So we jump back to our lovely great gang of goons as they see a cop car drive away with the mystery meat man in the back of the seat, in the back seat of the cop car, and he waves to you. And as they're driving away, you see through the back windshield him grabbing his bowl cut and taking it off. He is actually bald. as they
Jeff
drive away.
Bezos? Dustin, please. Dustin, please. Okay, good. Sorry.
Cool. So you guys are watching the cop car drive away with a bald mystery meat man.
I just Kirby'd that and inhaled the whole thing.
Wait, so he's one of the cops, or he was in the back of it?
He was in the back. He was being driven by you didn't he was being driven by a cop.
The high train is going by my house right now from earlier.
Nice.
Someone at least dressed as a cop. You could I guess that's an option.
Yeah, I was gonna make an Agent 47 joke, but Jeff Bezos one caught me off guard.
And the patrol vehicle passed too quick for us to be able to see, like, to figure out any distinguishing features of this so-called officer.
No, yeah, but yes, you were not able to get like, oh, that's Brian with a Y.
Right.
You just saw, oh, that's a police officer, and then you were able to catch Mystery Meat Man.
What an interesting wig choice, truly. Because like
yeah.
you'd think you'd do a wig so that you'd be like less conspicuous in that kind of scenario, but you're choosing a bowl cut.
I mean, that's.
I mean, it worked on us. We didn't investigate the stand, but like we were just
There
like
were so many red flags.
truly.
I mean, there were so many that it wrapped back around.
Yeah. Sure, that's how that works.
Like just like in dating, if someone has so many red flags, it wraps back around, and that means they're dateable.
Okay, so
think
are
that's
you
how that
guys just
works.
watching
Yeah.
this cop car drive away?
The red flags combined together into letters, and it says, "I can fix them." So it's gone now, but we saw this happen.
It's driving away right now. If you
okay.
want, you could try and chase it.
I mean, I'm assuming it's going the speed limit.
Yeah, it's going the speed limit. So if you want, I'm giving it an option just in case one of you wants to go be a little off the edge and try to attack or catch a cop car.
Someone suplex it.
Well, okay, but not to put moves in Masha's mind, but think about how badass it would be for Fig to be like, "I got this," pulls out her sniper rifle, just lays down flat on the road, and just like clocks it, shoots out a tire, shoots out other tire.
Yeah, and then she'd go to jail forever.
I mean,
Well, we can explore that situation. Well, not saying what will or will not happen, but you can always explore.
I guess while we're still talking in meta and not in real time.
Yeah, slow down Matrix style.
Right. Like,
Sherlock style, starring Robert Downey Jr.
what are we hoping to
Spit series.
find out of this guy, out of the mystery meat? Because we've already got
Anything.
right. Because beforehand we had talked to Judas, and he had been talking about how he wants like us to continue searching into the missing people. We talked to Atticus, and Atticus tells us that some kind of force underground turned him into a raccoon and made his friend Bigfoot disappear. So we've already have all these kinds of like other hooks essentially that have been given to us, and now we've been given a third, which is this mystery man and his meat. And so the mystery man's meat. And so what I would like to know is, like, are we going to continue pursuing the mystery man's meat? Or
Yes,
are we?
What hook shall you take on to the
Correct.
mythical hook with
Like,
the
what
mystery meat?
are we? What kind of climax are we hoping to see out of the mystery man's meat? Hook that we're pursuing.
I mean, I think the main thing we're trying to find out about the mystery man's meat is what happens when he puts it in people's mouths.
Right.
Oh, God.
Do they swallow or no?
Where would it go if they didn't swallow? Ah!
I mean, they'd spit it out, obviously.
Masha, no! Masha! Oh, Masha, please! This is going in the montage.
It's the end of the montage.
That's a good idea.
Right.
So yes, that is a good question of what do you hope to pursue mystery meat or
Right.
continue?
Like, how much of it does he have? Like, where's the leftovers of this man's mystery meat? Where's
Does he have
hiding
any
it?
leftovers? Yes.
How many people have been affected by
Where did it
his
come
meat?
from?
Where did
Do
it come
we-
from?
Where'd
Can
it
you
go?
even say 100% certain, like with 100% certainty, that the mystery meat is actually doing anything?
Right, exactly.
It could be a red herring.
Extraordinarily suspicious. But like with the evidence that we have from Fig that this, aggressive behavior has been something that's been going on for a while now, and the only evidence that we have that the mystery man meat is of today, then it's like a question of like, is it something that's actively, influencing people right now, or maybe this is just like a bigger problem that we'll have to deal with down the road once people digest and I don't know, shit that stuff out. I don't know.
Yeah.
A circle of life, baby.
I am the great and mighty.
But and so that's my
got you,
so like
Dustin. I
in
understand
this
that
meta
reference.
conversation as this car is driving away, I just like would like to poll the group and be like, is this something that we do want to pursue, or do we want to pursue one of the other hooks?
What other hooks?
You can't do that. You're not the keeper. We just listed out the other hooks.
Yeah, the Atticus Campbell and missing Bigfoot. Judas wants you to investigate Zachariah, who is a freaky basement.
Correct.
And Mystery Meat Man is now driving to an undisclosed location with a police officer.
Offering him some of his meat, I bet.
The thing is, also I will say logistically, and this could be something that we say like in character in the moment, is the fact they're driving away right now. We do not have our vehicle on us. It's not close to us in any way, shape, or form. So like the realistic aspect of chasing them down, we would lose we have Fig, who could follow the trail maybe, but like, it's a moving vehicle.
I was actually about to ask. So I was following like the scraping lines of a box that was dragged. Did the line stop, or does that continue somewhere else?
It goes into this parking lot, and if you want to, I'll just give you this. If you follow the trail, it leads to an empty parking spot, which is where the police car was parked.
Okay.
So you can know at least that Mystery Meat Man and his box of mysteries are in the police car.
Which is
At the
suspicious
very
on its
least,
own.
at the very least, I'm gonna look at what the license plate number is for this car.
Okay. Cool. Sure as well.
Well, that's actually a really good question. In general, is like the police cruiser in and of itself. Is it is it just like a general like Zorba County police cruiser, or is there like any specific any way that we could point it out of a lineup of police
That is a good
cruisers?
question. I think I will say this is not a Zorba County cop car. This is labeled specifically Whitebridge, which you find, which I'll give this to you, is interesting because the only police in the county are for, like Zorba County police officers that are shared between Fogwell and Whitebridge. So the fact that Whitebridge has their own police car is a fact I will throw your way.
Weird.
But back to Masha's question, can we get the license plate, or is that what you're giving us as kind of like the defining factor?
You can have the license plate if you want to. I don't have like an actual license plate. It's
7 It's 7 characters, mix
Okay,
of
okay.
letters and numbers. So
It is 5318008.
Uh,
good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. I like our imaginary or our I like the realism. That's
Mhm.
what
I
I'm
w-
going.
yeah, I was expecting 2GAT 123, but
I thought it
that
was
works
gonna
too.
be Miss Meat, like
That'd be
MYS and
funny.
then meat with like a
Mm.
3 and a 4, and then the S could be like a 5.
God. Um, cool. The license plate says follow here if you want to find Bigfoot. Uh, no,
Um,
it does not say that, and that is not me giving
but
like
that's
a wink wink
but
nod.
it's also good in general that we know that it's like a white bridge cop vehicle, because that's also something that we can
Mhm.
ask Judas about slash.
Yeah, Judas is also right there.
Oh, he came with us. Okay.
Yeah, he followed you.
Followed us.
So then Arthur was going to look at Judas and say, or actually, if Fig wants to ask, definitely want to pass that off to Fig
Ask what?
about why there's a Whitebridge cop vehicle as opposed to a Zorba County one, and if Judas can account for that slash tell us where it's going.
So I think as this car drives past us, I guess we're all kind of confused and conflicted, and sure, I will turn to Judas and say, not that I've been in this town all that long, but I've never seen a White Bridge specific cop car before.
Yeah, they don't have those.
Um, yeah, I'm not fully familiar with that either. I think that was it, I've seen them around in the past few weeks. Um,
And that didn't concern you at all.
it's one of those things where like if I I've sort of gotten used to if I ask Zachariah questions of why certain things are new or why something is like what is the deal with something that he's incorporated into the city, he usually just tells me it uh it was either funded by the Baron or funded by the research we were able to do with the Baron.
Does it not worry you that so much of your town is being paid for by this mystery individual?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait.
Hmm.
So it's based on investments, is why you can have a police force. Isn't that basically just a private police force?
I, I've asked the questions. I've asked the questions, and I agree with you. Personally, I think it's always something that we've wanted to do in the sense that we wanted Fogwell and Whitebridge to have their own police forces dedicated to their town. But that's just sort of like the thing you want to do when you're expanding as a town. This was, uh, but yes, it is. It the weirdness of it is not lost on me. Again, I came to you guys because I've been noticing weird shit.
Well, the car is long gone now, and we were hoping to talk to the mystery meat man. This is not exactly. I mean, this might not be something that you're willing to help with, but can we look up that license plate and track that vehicle somehow?
I don't know where there would be a record of that specific car. I would assume it would either be depending on how they have set up the system, like whether or not it's like they've gotten police cars through the Zorba County Police Service and then it's specifically for Whitebridge. It would either be you could go through files in Zachariah's office, or you could try and see if there's any ledgers in the Zorba County Police Station, but that's like a drives away.
We
I mean,
should try Zachariah's office.
Are are you saying you will let us into Zachariah's office?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to still do the plan that I proposed to you, of I can get you guys into Zachariah's office just to find something. If you also want to figure out what that police car is, it's just depending on how much time we have to get in there and get out with all this commotion. I think Zachariah is still at the festival, trying to calm people down by offering pig petting sessions.
Right. So I have a feeling we don't have all that much time to get in and get out.
I
So
can get you in, but it's again, yeah, you're right. It's a question of you probably only have like if Zachariah, the best case scenario is Zachariah stays for the rest of the festival, which would basically keep him busy for the next like 2 to 4 hours, or he comes back at any moment. Is sort of the big question mark.
Right. So I take it we should go then. I mean, our other lead is gone, so we may as well.
It also seems like this is what Judas could really help us with.
Okay, are
I
we
also.
all?
Oh, Judas, go on. I'm not.
Nope. I mean, please, if you have
mind.
other ideas, you guys are.
I just no. I just
experts.
have friend who told me I should check it out.
You have friends who told you to check out the mayor's office besides me.
No, that's what I meant. Like, you are my friend now, so.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't really know your name all that well.
I'm Ren. We're buddies, remember? We met
Okay.
recently.
Yeah, I know we met recently. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Rhett. Anyway, we don't have time for this.
Ren, politicians are never your friend.
You're right.
I'm just here hearing this. Anyway, so here we can just here my car's parked nearby. If we can just go to that and we can get in, and I'll drive you guys to the to his office.
Shotgun.
We should never have taught you shotgun.
Correct.
Philip cries out because he's always offered shotgun.
So we make our way over to town hall, I guess.
Yep. If no one else has anything else they want to do.
While we do that, since Cole isn't driving for once, I would like to do a thing real quick, if that's okay.
Go right ahead.
You sound like one of my parents. Like, since I'm not the one driving. Sorry. It's just a thing.
Get a license, Arthur. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, I would like to roll my net friends ability as
Valid.
as Cole logs into his Discord and jumps over to the Young Entrepreneurs Discord.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, of course.
And he's going to take a picture of that Baron card, and he's going to ask them about this Baron company and see what they can find out for him.
Okay. Is there a role you need to make for that?
Yes, net friends. You know a lot of people on the internet. When you contact a net friend to help you with a mystery, roll plus charm. On a 10 plus, they're available and helpful. They can fix something, break a code, hack a computer, or get you some special information, which this one would be the case. On 7 to 9, they're prepared to help, but it's either going to take some time or you're going to have to do a part of it yourself. And on a miss, you burn some bridges.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make that charm roll.
All right. That's...
Sorry, I'm looking at the disc.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. I gotta look. Anyways, it's gonna be a 10.
Okay, good. That's a full success. And so that is the full information, correct? With
I now also just looked at the thing.
As if stream chat wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So,
For
okay.
anybody who's watching and isn't aware, we have a channel in our Discord server called NetFriends, where we all pretend like we are members of the particular
Exactly.
Discord server that Cole is accessing, and it just makes it very fun.
Join the Discord.
Um, so you look at this young entrepreneur Discord, and you send the picture of the Baron card, and very quickly, some guys respond, and they give you some the basic stuff that Judas told you, like, oh, the Baron is a company in Europe. The owner, the people who they call the Baron of the Baron Company, uh, is very mysterious and recluse. It's gone by different names over the years. There is it's big in in the investing in like food industries, and only just recently has it sort of dipped its hands into uh, like uh, political and urban construction and development, very lightly. From what you can describe, and if you explain to them like, oh, they're doing a lot of investment in Fogwell, and you describe the investments they're making, the response you'd get would be, that's a lot more than the past places that they've invested in. So yeah, so you see they've invested in food places, um, various different meat production factories and testing facilities for meat products. You saw that they've also done some investment in blood banks and blood testing labs, uh, and for a while they invested in some big ZD's locations, but that has stopped in the past few years. And so yeah, so you sort of get this idea that it's this big mysterious company that's existed for a long time. They've changed their names like every few years. Originally, if you go far enough back, they were like they were not in agriculture. They were in what's the word? Livestock. They were in livestock, uh, and now they've sort of upgraded to this big, just not conglomerate, but like this entrepreneurial sort of activity of just investing in a bunch of smaller companies. Uh, so yes, so that is that's all. That's what you're able to get.
Cole will share his findings. So, I don't know. They've I guess been really ramping things up recently, and I mean, I guess it kind of tracks. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I am beginning to wonder if they want to keep it that way, that people haven't heard of them. With the name changing and all, I mean.
Yeah, and they've been investing in food places, so that tracks with the mystery meat. But
that guy had sponsors because, dear gosh.
yeah,
I mean, maybe we'll find something better in Zachariah's office, or maybe Zachariah's more in the dark than we are and just accepting money blindly, but I guess we won't know until we get there.
Yep. Doing the old fuck around and find out, I guess.
Because that works so well for us.
It's historically been our only method of getting shit done.
That is true.
I just, I don't know. A whole town is quite a jump up from a big ZD's location. And blood banks?
And why here?
I have friends who enjoy blood banks. That sounds really creepy. I just
Judas,
know
who's driving
people.
the car, is just like, okay.
Right, there's a normie in the car, guys. We have to be careful.
Yeah. Arthur can
Cole,
knock him
Cole
out. It's
doesn't
okay.
care. Cole doesn't care.
It's okay, guys. Arthur will knock out the driver of this moving vehicle if need be.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah. That makes me and Ren also feel very safe.
Good, good. Yeah. Why here? Why Whitebridge? Why Fogwell?
I mean, there was
Opportunity.
already spooky shit happening.
How long? Or are we at town hall yet?
Yes. As you sort of are talking, I was going to say when you finish this conversation, you pull up to town hall. It's much nicer than Fogwell's town hall. That's sort of the vibe you get. It's like if the same building existed in Fogwell, it would be slightly worse. Nice, beautiful brick building with gargoyles on top and intricate carvings of things, and sort of a big marble sign that says white marble, white
It says
bridge.
white marble. Oh, okay.
No, it's a white marble sign that says White Bridge at Town Hall. And Judas parks the car and he basically leans over and he's like, okay, I'm going to go talk to the secretary. The cameras, I have a tech guy. He's an intern. Probably going to get fired for this.
Is he paid?
Yeah, we pay him.
Oh, that's good.
Will you continue to pay him after he gets fired?
That's not really how jobs work.
I understand how jobs work. I just know that you're about to get him fired, so...
Well, it's sort of like I'm asking him to go in and delete security cam footage after this situation.
Right, exactly.
So whatever.
If you didn't ask, he wouldn't be deleting them.
To be fair,
Okay.
if he didn't ask, we would be going to jail with what we're about to do.
That's fair.
Hear me out. I have passed without trace. We just go zoom.
Okay.
Is that how it goes?
I
That's
mean,
valid.
Fate could figure out the dead spots.
Yeah, if you have expertise in that, sure, you could do that.
Yeah. I mean, like actually though, like
No,
I would,
yeah.
I
I
like.
could definitely like try to like if he can get me like a map of the building or whatever, like if he can show us where cameras are.
Does Fig have a phone?
We established whether she had a phone or not. I think she has like burner phones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because he was going to text you the map, because he doesn't have a physical map of the building. But
You could send it to Cole.
Yeah, Cole has a phone.
yeah, he
obviously.
could. Yeah, he'll send it to Cole, and you can then look at that and determine the weak points,
Yes.
and then you.
Famously untraceable cell phone images.
Yeah. I will
We're not
say
thinking
I
about it.
appreciate how much work we're going into to protect this fantasy intern and help them keep their job.
What if
Who I
Sasha's the
guarantee-
fantasy intern? We have to show up for her.
You haven't seen Sasha in a while. Hope they're okay.
Who I
Ah!
guarantee if
I
we
don't
said,
like...
hey Chris, what's the intern's name? Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't.
Don't
know.
that's-
ask.
Anyway, so yes, so anyway, so he's like, so I'm going to basically talk and distract the secretary while you guys sneak by, and you can make it up to the office. It's the third floor, big doors, big double doors, basically right at the end of the hallway when you get to the third floor. You can get in. He hands. Who does he feel like is the most professional here? Gosh, I think maybe he hands Cole, because Cole's the only one with a cell phone. He hands Cole a sticky note, and he's like, He's like, this is the password to his computer. Uh, just if you want anything on that, I don't know if he has like he might have other like folders with that are password protected. I don't know if he's smart enough to use different passcodes for different things, but here you go, just in case you want to spend your time looking for that or doing anything else. I will text you. I'm going to basically wait outside in my car, and if I see Zachariah pull up, I'm going to text you to get out of there.
Wait, so you're not going to stay with the secretary?
Well, it's kind of depending on how much time we have. I can't really stay with the secretary for hours on hours.
Are you not good at small talk?
It's, guy just died. It's kind of hard to do small talk.
They died for real? I thought they were still figuring it out.
I haven't heard back. I just got texted got texted before we knew anything. All we know is someone was badly hurt. We don't know if they're dead yet.
Fair enough.
But anyway, so once I don't know, once I see Zachariah, how you get out is going to be a little more difficult. Just because it's going to be hard for me to distract. Because depending on how fast Zachariah is to get up there, you might just have to jump out the window or something.
Could you? I mean, how are
Reassuring.
How are you hoping to tell us if he's here?
I'm going to text Cole.
Okay. Could you not walk with him up and just talk very loudly so we could hear you?
I could do that. Yes, I'll do that then. But the problem is, by the time you hear me, he'll be close to the door.
I mean, but do both. You could text and talk. Just don't text and drive.
Wasn't planning on it. Are we all good with the plan? We're again time sensitive.
Arthur shrugs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So Judas is going in first.
Yes, Judas is going to go in first, talk to the secretary, and then he will text Cole when it's the all clear to pass by, and then I don't know, Masha, if you have to roll for pass without trace, or if it's just you go.
The only thing it says is I'm not muted. Okay. With your extensive tracking knowledge, you can conceal your group's passage from all but supernatural pursuit. I don't know if it was written to mean like effectively heist style. It was probably meant to be more of like a walking through a forest. But that's how it's written. If you feel like it's cheesing it, we don't have to do it. But...
No, I think that's totally valid. I think that is a good way to solve my security cam puzzle.
Your security cam puzzle of we don't want to get an intern fired.
Yes.
Correct.
Cool. We have saved the nameless intern.
We saved that intern, and the intern's name? Jeff Bezos.
It's not Sasha, but
No.
Mystery Meat Man was the intern all along.
Cool. Yeah. So as you guys, so basically, Judas goes in. He starts talking to the secretary. You get a little buzz on your phone call that with a thumbs up. And cool. I guess you have the option to just say "fuck you, Judas" and leave. But you also, do you guys go along with the plan?
Cole texts that to him and leaves. No.
You're on your own.
Fun as I think it would be to say "fuck you, Judas" and just leave, I feel like we should probably go in. Also, Ren has stake in this situation.
This is true.
Yeah.
Real fast, we did get a donation of $20 by Boopasad B with the comment saying, "Chasing the man's mystery meat."
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks,
All right.
B.
Sadly. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So you're able. It's like sliding like doors or whatever, and you're able to. You walk into the lobby. You see, that Judas has just completely like enraptured this secretary in conversation. She seems very smitten with him, as he is perfectly positioned to like block her eyesight. Like the only thing in her visual cue, and
Are his rippling pectorals.
yes, those pig wrestling arms.
Takes his shirt off.
As he's talking, and you guys sort of slip by. You're able to get up the steps. A lot of this is also added to the fact that Pass Without Trace and Fig's like expert tracking of able to like, like even if the secretary like looks back, she's able to Fig is able to like direct the party to move in the exact right way to like hide behind a plant or a pillar and slink around.
There's perfectly us-sized obstacles along
Yes.
the way. Like,
Yeah.
Austin Power penis gag, very perfect.
I was thinking that the part in Undertale where's the lamp.
The lamp, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you're able to get up the stairs. You come to this hallway. You're able to perfectly dodge the security cams. And you see, you come to this hallway. The door has these big double doors have been left unlocked. You can now go into the office, or if you want, you can explore other parts of the town hall if you are so inclined.
Ren's going into not Judas's room, Zachariah's office.
Okay. Is anyone doing anything different, or are we all in Zachariah's office?
We might as well all be in. I feel like everyone might as well be in Zachariah's office.
same
That's what
place.
we're here for.
All right. You come into Zachariah's office. It's this big room with bookshelves lining both the left and right side. There's a big archway window that is directly behind this big leather desk chair, and this nicely carved wooden desk, and a Mac computer just standing on the desk. I don't know why I decided to brand drop the computer on his desk, but there you go, Apple. I know you needed it.
Yeah. It's because we've been saying Jeff Bezos so many times we had to.
Yeah, we have to
add
balance out
something
what
else, yeah.
we have to balance out what billionaires we talk about. So you come in to this office. There's the big desk, computer on the desk, some files laid out, a little name plate that says Zachariah. There's a grandfather clock in the corner, and this is for you to explore for the next undetermined amount of time.
Arthur's gonna go to the grandfather clock.
Okay. You go up to the grandfather clock. It's this old thing. There's like a little plaque on the side that says dedicated to Zachariah.
The asshole. Jesus.
Dedicated to Zachariah from Mummy and Daddy for being voted into as mayor of Whitebridge on the side. It's this nicely carved, intricate, like gold little, I don't know what it's called. It's the thing that goes side to side. And, yes, pendulum. Intricate, like, star design on the face of the clock.
And Kate Bush starts playing in the background.
Dum. Okay. Is anybody else doing anything? Arthur can't read, so like I don't know how much help he's gonna be in like
fair.
every other situation. So he just kind of went to the clock.
Yeah, I will look around. We'll all look around.
Ren's going straight to the place, the book that was in their like vision with Mahat.
Okay.
Ren's not going straight anywhere, but why? It's private. I'm allowed to make bad gay jokes.
You're always allowed to make that.
We've never stopped you before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
where we
I'm
would've
just
been like, no
I'm
bad
making
gay
this. I'm making this to myself because sometimes I'm like, gotta do only good gay humor, and then sometimes I'm like, Ren isn't going straight anywhere. Which, by the way, I do make that joke every time I'm in the car with someone who I'm out to, and is like, go straight. I'm like, I can't. Or like, anyway, it's very fun to drive with me.
Listen, be gay, tell bad jokes. It's fun. That's
Exactly.
Be gay,
Also
do
defend.
crime.
Tell bad
Speaking
jokes.
of
Yeah.
which, we are breaking into this office. Cool. Or broken in the past tense. We're in the office.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So Ren, you're going straight to the bookshelf. You see
Yes.
the area that he specifically grabbed from you is like a bunch of like horror novels
Yeah.
that have been laid out by like Stephen King, other horror authors I'm not familiar with. And would you say Ren has a good enough memory where they're like, oh, I know that book they grabbed?
If there was anything distinctive about it, like I think they're more based on, like their memory is more like color based, like they if
Mm-hmm.
there was like they would remember the color of the book.
Okay.
This totally isn't because that's how my memory works. So if there's like 16 red books, they'd be a little bit lost, but
yeah, you see you know that the book he grabbed while you're I'm going to say, just because this is going to be a big development in the story, while you're sort of looking through books and trying to decide which one was the one you saw, we're going to move on to someone else just to explore any other information. So Arthur, you're staring at the face of a clock. Fig, you said you wanted to investigate. What specifically do you want to look into?
I want to try getting into that computer, baby.
yeah. I was
Okay.
actually going to say the same thing with Cole. So
Actually,
Cole will go
Cole-
with you.
No, Cole should take a look at the computer because Cole is young and will have a better handle on that.
Here's my idea. We should both go because otherwise Cole's gonna I'm gonna mess something up. But he gave Cole the password, so like we can get in pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I think that Fig's intention is to kind of like be with Cole at the computer, but also like keep an eye on the door, keep her ears perked up for movement from the outside. Like she's going to be on very high alert for anybody who might be coming.
Okay. Cool. So Cole, you go up to the computer. You see, you see like the sticky note. You see the password. That it's like a bunch of random letters, like VCLEE, like 75, and you type in the password. The computer opens up. You see some files, some various like forms and things that have sort of been digitized in the process. Internet Explorer. Is there anything specifically you want to look for, or do you want to investigate
Hold
the
up.
mystery?
Just Internet Explorer, or does he have Chrome? Does he got
yeah, I was
Firefox?
about to say.
Well, it's a. I did name drop that it was a it was a Mac, so it has to have Safari on
Okay,
it.
and he chose to have Internet Explorer on there.
Yeah, he downloaded Internet
Okay.
Explorer.
This guy's
This is
definitely
all I
the bad
know.
guy, guys. I'm sorry.
Sociopath. This is him. We've
Sorry
already
to spoil
solved it.
everything. Yeah.
This is the big bad. This
Mhm.
is him.
Yep.
We've
Gotta
solved
be.
it. So, end of mystery questions.
Chris,
Let's go.
we've solved your old man has bad taste puzzle.
Damn.
Does he have like my first thought would be his emails for correspondence between him and the Baron company.
Alright.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
I'm either way. I think I'm gonna ask you to investigate a mystery, and then you can pose that specifically towards emails.
Who's rolling? You or me, Dusty?
Oh, that's an easy question. An easy question to answer, given that the difference between our sharp is 4.
All right.
But I will help out if needed.
Yeah, Fig's just using Cole as like, the young child who's more tech savvy than the parent.
Right, but she's the one who's like directing what to look at.
Exactly.
So I rolled a 6 and a 4, which is 10, plus my 3 sharp is a 13.
Sweet Chris.
Unfortunately, don't have advanced to anything because that would have been really fun. I guess that's the bummer of not leveling up.
Yeah.
As frequently. But
So you hold 2.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if concealed makes sense, but I guess that is what I'm looking for. So my intention is to like skim through emails and find out, yeah, what is being concealed here? What can I find out about the mayor's weird dealings?
So you see certain recent emails as you're sort of going through Earthlink webmail of the mayor Zachariah. That's the cruelest thing of all, is he's paying for email. Anyway, so you're scrolling through and you see like current emails from recently, like someone who works for the Baron Company, about Mystery Meat Man will arrive. The Baron wishes that the Mystery Meat Man, whose name is Harold, he basically says Harold will bring the mystery meat to Pigfest. The Baron demands it.
Does it literally say mystery meat in the email?
It's, well, he just says the meat. I will correct.
But the M is capitalized.
Yes. So you see that, you see like business emails about like, okay, we're gonna fund. The Baron will send some workers over to be Whitebridge's policing force. And they will provide cars for him to use, as long as the Baron Company is allowed to maintain their deal. And you sort of keep, as you're scrolling through the email, you keep seeing this word, the deal, being referenced to.
Would it be the stupidest thing? Because my brain, now that we're talking about email, is in work mode, and it's like, man, you keep seeing this term. Why not just search it within the email and go to the very first email that it references the deal?
Mm-hmm. You can do that. I will say there's no specific email that's like, this is the deal we have. You sort of get a general sense that it's like, okay, from this dealing that we're having, like the Baron's going to give you money, Zachariah, but they have to maintain some control. If you want your own police force in Whitebridge, they have to have some control over it, as in they determine who's the workers, or like who are the officers. They will help obtain resources from the local wildlife for their own research purposes, and you can allow us to stay in a residency that we will construct in an opportune location. There's a lot of like vague stepping around, like we're gonna go to place, not be specific on place, and we're going to collect the item that we want, and we will give you money to do such. You will get...
No, keep going, Chris. Keep going.
All right. And you will get certain things that you want, such as we will help with your homelessness bill, and you want your own security system and your own police force in Whitebridge, and we will help clean up the city, maintain order for the time being, while we also maintain a presence there. And then at a certain point in the past few weeks, you say an email that just says, the Baron will arrive soon.
So, sorry, Chris, to get this straight, Whitebridge is paying this European outside company.
They're not. Whitebridge is not paying.
Zachariah is paying.
No one's. Zachariah is getting paid to allow the Baron to be in Whitebridge.
Okay, so they've basically paid their way into this town.
Yes.
Okay. And
Because
they said, we'll give you a police force, but it'll be manned by people that we employ.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So again, private police force.
and then like
Cool.
they're fixing the homelessness problem while at the same time collecting
mystery.
local wildlife.
Interesting.
Yeah, we received hints of that in the last session too. So this is just building more onto it.
So, okay. Love it. Love to see. Cool. I just wanted to double check that that's what was essentially being told. So
okay, cool.
yeah.
So Cole, do you want to do anything specific on? Oh wait, well actually, Fig, you will have a second question.
That is correct. Hmm. God, I don't know if I feel like Fig is big brained enough for this. She's really sharp.
True.
That is
I-
valid.
But I feel like what she would be looking for is what can hurt it in the sense of is there
Okay.
something that we can do to prevent the Baron from coming or break off the deal or whatever? Like, how can this potentially be stopped, basically?
Okay. Well, so a few things on that. It says the email that says the Baron will be there soon is from a few weeks ago. So you don't know if the Baron is already here or if he is still on his way.
Or came and
What-
went.
Or if or if he's came and now he's gone and he's dropped his dealings and that's X, Y, and Z.
Okay, that's fair.
Are there any meeting agendas?
there's a when to meet
A
set
memo?
up. So what can hurt, if you're asking specifically what can hurt this deal, it's basically, obviously, if all this information, the problem is you don't have specifics, but if you had like solid evidence of the mayor doing X, Y, and Z, and basically came out to the public for it, then the mayor would be ousted, and then that would basically struck the deal. You don't know how deep this goes, whether like how many people in the local government are involved in this dealing, or if it's just through Mayor Zachariah. But you know, at least if you got rid of Zachariah, that's the mouthpiece that this deal is going through. So getting rid of Zachariah would damage this dealing altogether. So that's the big thing. If that's your question of what can hurt it, as in what can damage this deal, is if you take out one of the parties, and the main party is either you somehow find the Baron, the company, or the person, and are able to deal with them, or you deal with Zachariah in some way. The easier way would be Zachariah because he's a political figure and could be voted out.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
What exactly is Zachariah doing other than like brushing away questions? You know, because like as far as we understand it, this police force has been here for some time, and the normal police of Zorba County have not blinked an eye over it. So I'm assuming that if there have been questions, Zachariah has been like brushing them away, or like, you know, keeping things on the down low for the sake of the Baron being here. But now that they've been established, what's the point of Zachariah? If we were to sweep him away, or like get rid of him and stuff like that, what would stop the Baron from continuing these activities anyhow, just like
That
more discreetly?
We don't know.
Yeah, so that's I think you've kind of hit the you're very that's a big aspect to this problem is how much control does the Baron have at this stage?
Right.
Because they're talking in such in such a vague way that it's hard to really assess like actual details of how deep this goes, how deep the roots are at this point.
Right.
Obviously, the big getting rid of Zachariah would at least stop their mouthpiece, like being able to brush off questions, being able to quickly like sign legal documents as this is valid. They have a permit to do X, Y, and Z, to go X, Y, and to go to this place and do whatever they want. And to like actually like, oh, I'm saying this is a personal, like this person has authority. So they would lose that. You don't know how much they already have to obtain and to retain and stabilize their power and presence in Whitebridge. You don't know how deep that goes.
Right.
So at least if you were able, the multi layers of this would be if you were able to get enough evidence to reveal Zachariah, get him kicked out, and then basically is like the Baron is in this town. What do they like?
Right.
You could actually get, if it's publicized, then there would obviously be a lot of legal problems with a company having its roots into town. And so it's basically you have to figure out, is the Baron as a company, do they, because they're very secret oriented, obviously. So do they want to deal with, oh, are we going to try to take down this town with us? Or is that too much attention to something that we've built for the last several decades?
Oh, decades. Okay.
Like decades is like the company's
The company
existed,
itself.
whereas like they're obviously, yes, they're what they've invested in the town.
So
It's been a
evidence.
long time.
So evidence against Zachariah about these dealings would be needed,
Yes.
like these emails.
Yes, or if you found like actual like physical, like where are they
We could print
doing
stuff
this
out.
research? Yes, like where are they doing?
We could print out the
Yeah.
emails. Yeah.
I think. Sorry to interrupt, but the whole time I think Fig would be like, Cole, can you take pictures of these? Like
Yeah.
pictures or print them out. Like we need to have this, especially if the answer to my question was like, if this went public, it would be bad. Then we have to get it public somehow.
Yeah, the problem is that these are still very vague things, right? That's what you were saying.
Yes. So as of right now, you could maybe do something to get at least the word out there, but a lot of things you could tell from these emails, a lot of people, whoever you would bring it to, would be like, I have doubts about this because there's not enough detail to really say, oh, he's doing this, which is illegal.
Right. We'll still need them anyhow
It's a
because
start.
once they find out we're on their trail, they're going to make him wipe everything.
Yes, that is entirely valid.
Yeah, we get these, but we just need more, basically.
Correct. Is there a printer in this room, or is it one of those things where like you print and it goes to like it goes to the secretary downstairs or something?
I will say there is this guy's shady and is doing his own dealing, so he does have his own printer to print his own documents.
Cool.
All right.
Well, that works too.
Enough paper.
Enough
Enough ink.
Yeah, well, that's like it costs you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, that's like
it's
it's
super expensive actually.
You could, again, like Fig said, Cole, you could just take pictures.
Yeah,
of the
Cole's just
emails.
gonna take pictures of them.
Okay.
And if you want, you could print out some if you were like, I really need this in physical form. But
I think it's
pictures,
good to have a
is
couple
fine.
physically printed, but yeah.
I will say I don't think you have enough ink or paper to print every single thing that he has. Because again, some things you don't even know, like, is this related? Is this not? Again, it's so vague. So it's up to you on if you want to print anything.
Yeah. While Cole and Fig are cracking this case wide open, Arthur's looking at this clock and thinking about the greatest enemy, which is time.
Wow, that was deep.
Yep.
True.
Just wanted to add
Was it-
something that my character could do with this situation.
Arthur, you're staring at the clock and you're like tick tock, and then you feel like hands on your head as you hear a voice whisper in your ear. Yes, the clock ticks once again.
Are they tiny little creepy hands?
They're tiny little raccoon hands on your head.
Arthur's going to grab the hands and just like take them off of his head and like hang Atticus off the side. Please. He's gonna say, "What did I say about touching me without my permission?"
I'm sorry, dear boy, but it seemed like you were entrapped in time.
I'm just. And he's gonna drop. He's gonna drop him onto the floor. Please don't do that again. And he's gonna turn back to the clock.
You have my word. You very strong individual. I shall continue my intense research. And he scrambles over to a book and pulls it out and starts reading it. It's just the dictionary.
Start listing out dictionary terms in the Atticus Cannibal voice.
Oddvok.
Aardvark.
Oddvok. A zebra. A xylophone. Anyway. Cool. As this is all happening, Arthur, you are staring at the clock, entrapped in this concept of time and how fleeting it is.
I mean, is there anything in the clock?
It was given to him by his mother and dad when he was voted into office.
If I open up the glass case of the pendulum and feel inside, is there anything there?
Mystery meat, are you?
I stick my hand in and it just comes out drenched in mystery meat.
It comes out like goop.
Yeah.
I won't ask you to roll anything for this just because there is legitimately nothing about this clock.
Cool. Arthur's just being entertained in the corner. That's totally okay.
Okay.
I think I'm
yes.
onto something, guys.
If you turn the hands in the right way, a little bird comes out and goes, "What? What?"
Punches the clock face. Get surprised.
Cool. And Fig and Cole, you're at this computer, and then all of a sudden, Cole, you get a text.
Beans.
That's like a frowny face.
I think we're about to have company.
And Ren, you're looking at the books, and you're like, "Oh, it was a black book, but there's like 5 black books here. What is the? What is? You're looking, and you're trying to figure it out." And as you start to hear voices come down the hallway of Judas talking very loudly, of just sort of like, "Sir, I feel as though you should really consider, the people need to hear their mayor trying to provide more confidence. Maybe we should go back and try to maintain things while tug of war is going." And Ren, you realize, oh, this is the book, and you pull out a book titled Salem's Lot, and behind the book you see a little switch that seems to only activate when you like fold certain pages. Do you put the book back in?
Ren tries to replicate like what they saw Zachariah doing as best as like he can, and then he puts the book back.
Okay.
Or like yeah.
So Ren, you fold the pages and you quickly put the book back, and the bookshelf, you hear like a little compressed air, like as like the bookshelf swings open and reveals the inside of an elevator that only has like 2 floors, like 2 buttons inside of it. It's like this old, like, pull back the grate elevator that leads down as you hear the voices getting closer.
As soon as he hears the compressed air, Arthur's gonna be like, "I think I found something, guys."
Good job, dear boy. You've unlocked the secret passage.
And he's gonna look up and turn around and see the bookshelf and be slightly disappointed, but also kind of that makes sense. And he's gonna make his way over to the elevator.
Cool. Does everyone get into the elevator?
I guess down we go.
I
Click
guess
click
so.
as many spam like Trojan horse links that you can while you're on Zachariah's computer.
Well, I signed him up for 3 different porn things.
Cool.
So-
Yeah.
Make sure all the Russian singles know that he's here.
They'll come for him. They'll save us. Is there a hot Russian singles server on Discord that Cole is a part of?
Oh god.
Okay.
That's not something that he's going to talk about openly with just about anyone. So, but yes, of course he is.
Oh my gosh. So everyone. So gang, you get in. Atticus Campbell hops up onto Ren's shoulders. As when you get in, you there's like a handle on the backside of the bookshelf that you can like slowly like pull back to close it shut. You slide the gate back closed, and there's only one. There's 2 buttons. One's green, as in you're already there, and the button labeled 2 is not pressed. I assume you press 2, unless you want to just hide in there until they're gone and then get out. But that is up to you.
I feel like we need to clue Judas into where we are somehow. Otherwise, we're gonna have vanished and don't want him to mistrust us. Especially
just
since he
sent-
worked so hard to get us here.
The
All right.
the bookshelf is still wide open, correct?
No, you're able to close it.
Okay, cool. What's the signal like inside this wall?
It's not great. It doesn't seem like they have Wi-Fi set up in this elevator. So yeah, it's up to you. You can send something to Judas if you would like to.
Cole presses the button.
Okay. You hear the elevator like rattle as it goes down, and you feel the elevator going down each floor. You can sort of feel it like as you're sort of counting the seconds. The way you sort of work it out in your head is we've already passed all 3 floors of Town Hall, and now we're going deeper below.
Second morgue.
And it is revealed to you the second morgue. We're, as everyone knows, the Town Hall already has the first morgue, and we have now discovered the second. Anyway, so as the elevator is going down, you deeper and deeper you feel like the air turn colder as you are embraced by the deep earth, and you finally come down with a slow creakety thud as you look down the gate into a deep dark, very medical and like hallway, as very dim lights lit the way and go off into darkness, and in the very depths you hear a light beeping. And you are here.
Ren, how did you do this, by the way?
I got a friend in my brain, sort of. Egyptian gods. I'm friend, one of them. They let me know what was up, sort of, with Zachariah's office. How to get here.
So, how did we get here?
There was an elevator. Yes.
Also, I hate this.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of being down here. Ren, we're gonna have to talk to your mind friends. I'm gonna need a little more detail on that at some point, I think. But
Yeah, I
um,
just
did they show you what was down here, or that there just is a down here?
it was more there's a book in the office that if you do a code or whatever, there's some shit down here. Or that
Ah,
there's an elevator, or a door.
okay,
Uh,
that is pretty cool.
Either way, it seems as though the only way forward is to go forward.
What book was it?
Uh,
Salem's Lot.
yes, I knew it was Lot something. uh, Salem's Lot.
Ah,
Credit. So
Stephen King.
yeah, I guess.
That one's
I thought there were no kings in America.
that's a last name. It's not really a title.
Oh,
It's like there's a kid in America named Baron, but he is not a Baron.
That's also true.
Do you know anything about the Baron, the company, or the guy?
I'm
Raccoon
glad
friend
you
whose
asked.
name
I
I'm
have all the
forgetting.
answers. No, I do not actually.
All right, thanks.
It seems as though that part. I mean, I've heard the name before whispered in the dark crevices of the underworld,
You're
but
a
I have not heard anything of.
children's magician. I just need
Yes.
to recognize that.
Well, you see, I haven't heard anything. Again, some of my memories are a little scrambled overall, but the only thing that comes to mind is whispers. They try to. Overall, they keep to themselves. But if they're making moves, maybe something more devious and dastardly is going on. But I don't know. I can't recall much more detail than that. My little raccoon brain is the size of a peanut.
I mean, just the fact that
Congrats.
you've heard of them makes it seem as though they are more than just a food processing company. And Arthur's gonna step out of the elevator into the hallway.
Cool. Arthur, you step out into this hallway. It's a dark, dimly lit. It's very cold in here.
Should have kept my turtleneck sweater.
Yeah, you're regretting the Pigfest 2022 shirt. This clean tile, not. I hesitate to say clean. It's a little grimy.
Sure.
Tile floor, white walls that seem to have gotten stains on it several times, and they've tried to like paint it over or bleach it out.
We call that the landlord special.
And there's it basically it leads down this hallway. There are no doors immediately next to you, and there's no security cameras at all. And as the group, if everyone else is going to continue walking down this hallway, unless anyone wants to go back up and hang out with Zachariah, that's your choice.
Well, here we go. So,
Okay.
I wonder if we're running any vampires.
There is one vampire who I would like to run into. The rest I'm not so sure about.
What?
I have a vampire friend. It's completely normal.
You have a vampire friend?
Yes, normal. Do you not have a vampire? You have a friend who's like a corpse or something.
Yeah, okay, but Rim Van Helsing.
Oh, yeah, I'm not letting you near him then. Sorry, Cole.
Yeah, we've had enough of Dustin RPing with himself.
It shall never be. Cool. As you walk down this hallway, Arthur kind of leading the way, you notice that you get to a point where it's sort of there's a fork in the road, as in you're coming from one of the prongs. Like you end up in sort of the center area where you're coming from, like this center hallway, and there's two hallways going like off into not necessarily the exact same direction, but it looks like they lead off they lead off into another way while you came from this way, and they all converge into the hallway that basically is just going straight forward. You see little signs at the entrance of each of the hallway, including the one you came from, that just says office / town hall. And the other another hallway to your right says sewers, and to your left says docking warehouse.
Where's the beeping coming from?
The beeping is coming from further down the center that does not have a sign.
Are there like I'm not sure if you mentioned, are there lights down here, or is it relatively dark?
It's relatively dark, but like with dim
Fluorescence.
Fluorescence lights overhead that have been covered in sort of like this red coloring.
Love that. Love it. And down each of these ways, are there any rooms that have lights inside that are like shining out?
If you look down the hallway that's straight ahead, you see several different doors with red lights coming from them. And the weird thing is, like, as you're staring down this hallway, you don't see the end of the hallway.
So this place is connected to a lot of other places in town.
Yeah, I really hate this.
Technically, this is underground, right?
Yeah.
I assume so.
Arthur's gonna turn to the raccoon.
Hello.
Does any of this look familiar to you?
Raccoon Atticus Campbell looks around and sort of squints his eyes and is like, yes, these dark corridors, this deep feeling in my chest, this sense of fear and anger, a little bit of hunger. Quite familiar, yes.
Do you remember where you were transformed or attacked or whatever happened to you down here?
Not really. I remember coming down here and being at least in the hallway at some point, a door opening, and then I feel as though I had a conversation with someone, and then next thing I know, raccoon.
Do you remember if the door was from the left or the right?
I do not.
Okay, well, I don't know if we're gonna find out too much standing around here. And Cole's just gonna barrel forward, straight ahead,
Okay.
toward the beeping sound.
Arthur will follow.
Cool. As you're sort of walking down, you come to this area where there's doors to your left and right, you just to get a general this hallway is fairly big, like just I'm saying to the left and right, so like it seems as though, and if you look at the grimy tile, you can tell that coming from the warehouse side of things, there have been like scratches and wheels of something being dragged in here in like mass product size, or like a mass production kind of way. And as you walk by these doors, you see some doors that say like product testing, the production, and the words fail me. Not resources, and then there's another door that says files.
Does it still have the hospital kind of vibe, or is it more of like a warehouse or an office vibe now?
It's still kind of a hospital vibe, just like a very big hospital like office. Not office, but an office like hallway that's big enough that something big like warehouse style things could be brought down them. And
I think
and so you sort of like see these doors. They're not like right next to each other. They're like far. They're like pretty big distance apart, and you still hear the beeping deeper down in the darkness.
Ren is getting visibly nervous.
Are we stopping to look at the files? Or are we just gonna keep going?
I don't know. Not a fan of hospitals, but
Are we just trying to find evidence? Because maybe there's something in files. Or
files might.
somebody said that out loud because Arthur can't read the door.
Well, yeah.
Atticus is like, yes, files out there. You see.
God, I'm gonna use this
Atticus
raccoon
is
to
just-
read things. Jesus Christ.
Arthur, please, I'll be your
Reading
eyes.
everything to Arthur.
You'll be my
Mission.
beady trash panda eyes.
Yeah, so you can go into the files, you can go into production, you can go into resources. I forgot what the other one I said was.
So
Testing.
probably not that
Testing.
one. Okay.
It was testing.
Testing. I believe testing. Yes.
Testing, files, production, and
Resources.
Resources. Check out files. Files are.
And
not
this
very
was down.
helpful.
This was down the hallway that had no sign.
Yes.
How old does all of this look?
This looks so it's somewhat deceptive in the sense that there's a lot of grime and dirt, but realistically, it's one of the general construction feels like it's only a few months old.
Okay.
Interesting.
Like it's new
Sorry if you
building
already said it.
techniques. The general, you don't know how they could dig something this quickly though.
Right. Underneath an already established sewer system and town foundation. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said we can't see the end of the hallway, correct? Is from what we can see of the hallway, is it still lit, or at a certain point does it dip into darkness?
It's one of those things where it's kind of like fog of war kind of situation, where it seems like the shadows, like it's sort of like following you in a weird way. Like you can see a few ways ahead, but then it sort of fades off into darkness where the beeping's coming from.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't like this one bit.
Solidly agree with that.
Then yeah, Arthur's just gonna kind of turn to the group and say, right, so we're here now. What do we want to do?
I mean, we might as well gather evidence and see if Atticus, the humans, down here somewhere.
Hadn't thought of that.
We could.
I
I
mean,
feel
not
like
that I
the
want to
main-
handle a feral raccoon that's inside a man's body, but
At least I could punch something.
Do we want to split up, gang?
Nope.
As much as I feel like that would be helpful from a productivity standpoint, I fucking hate that idea.
yeah.
Okay, just throwing it out there. Don't know how much time we have before someone comes through here.
I mean, the matter of fact is, I'm not going to be any use to you in files. So I could take a look at some of these other doors and see if there's anything there, but I'll need a partner that's not a raccoon.
Oh, I could be your eyes, Arthur. I can read for you.
Yeah, another person can also read for him.
Drat, my usefulness has been foiled again.
Do you want me to go with you, or should we have another short range? Should we split up the short range combatants?
I think you're all 3 short range combatants except Fig.
That is correct.
But does Cole have a weapon?
He's got
with
his
him?
Well,
axe.
that's Max.
Well, I mean, we never established whether or not we had our weapons with us, but I mean,
yeah,
We
no, wait,
established-
you did have I did establish that you have your swords at least.
that's right.
Like like the things you were able to bring, you were able to bring your weapons because the festival had super weird vibes,
Sure.
and people just assumed you were in costumes.
Oh, I will say Arthur doesn't have his sword.
Okay. Oh yes, yes.
yeah, that was
is
a
true.
character decision.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fig definitely has her kukri and a blowgun, which has poison.
I mean, so I'm trying to think. Who? Okay, so Ren has a phone, Cole has a phone.
Fig has a burner phone.
Fig has a burner
Fig has
phone.
many phones.
I think the idea is that we all have phones. It's just we have all different levels of experience with them. But there's no signal down here. Was that ever established? I know that we checked in the elevator, but now that we're underground,
It does not seem as though they've set up you don't have signal down here. There is like a Wi-Fi, but it's like password protected. I'm sorry.
damn.
It's the Wi-Fi is called Super Secret Base with like
Love
a
that for them.
Actually, could we use the password VCLEE75 and see if that works?
you can try. It doesn't work, sadly.
Damn.
Bummer. Not that Arthur can read.
No, it was me.
Type.
I saw was checking.
So I'm thinking that we pair up just to cover more ground because I don't know what's down here, and
To be clear, we're not going further down. We're just going to these other doors.
right. We'll be a holler away from each other.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because this looks more and more like a maze to me.
There are buildings out there that are designed specifically like a maze to confuse people that they're testing on or whatever else. So let's not stray too far.
The most dangerous mazes are those that seem as they are just straight ahead.
Why did you have to say that, Atticus?
Ren, Arthur, I assume
I've
that
built
the
many
two
mazes.
of you want to be together, and Cole and I can take a look at other stuff.
Ren will look over at Arthur.
And I will hang out with Arthur to make sure he can read.
I can help Arthur read, but you should probably stick with us because I know you and Arthur hates you. But that's a
All
different
right,
issue.
lads, let's boogie down.
Why is he acting like he's the leader?
I
All
think
right,
he
lads,
thinks he is.
let's boogie down.
Thank you. And then Arthur
All right,
turns.
Cole. Listen, I think that maybe Cole and I take files because two pairs of eyes that can read and have opposable thumbs and the strength to open cabinets. No offense to you, Atticus, but
My little fingers can get in many places.
All right, let's.
That's a sentence.
Arthur, which
Shreds.
door do you want to go in?
Which one possibly has something that we could drop Atticus into? Let's do testing.
testing.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
All
Alright.
right.
Cool. Cole and Fig,
That's us.
Fig and
Yeah.
Cole.
you go into filing. You open the door and it's soup, and you get a very like musty smell as you walk in. and inside is just metal racks of old ancient papyrus scrolls that have been stacked in to fill up these metal shelves.
I'm sorry, did you say papyrus scrolls?
Yeah, like old papyrus scrolls.
Fuck. Right, this is not the way that companies note take any time in the last couple thousand years.
Yeah, something tells me they're not using the Dewey Decimal System.
Does anyone read
I'm-
Sanskrit?
I'm just gonna grab one off the top and unfurl it and see what it looks like on the inside.
You grab one randomly and you unfurl it, and inside
It screams at you.
God.
There's a little man and he says hello.
You get a paper
You unfurl the scroll, and inside is a bunch of, there's some ancient symbols written in the scroll in a language you're not entirely familiar with, and there at the bottom of the scroll, written in English and in like Papermate pen. You can tell by the ink it's Papermate.
I'm
Not
a very good
big?
tracker.
Damn. So you see written in English and paper point pen, ancient dig sites. Check soon. And soon is underlined a lot.
Cole, do you
Interesting.
do you recognize what language this is? Because I am not well traveled enough to pick up on it.
Oh, thank goodness! I thought that we were both pretending to understand it.
I mean, I can read the English at the bottom. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of odd to write directly on a source document, but I don't make the rules. I'm not in the librarian.
Yeah, they put Papermate ink on this 1,000-year-old papyrus.
Ancient ass. Yeah.
Yeah, I can read Latin, but I don't think that's very helpful here.
Right. All right. And I'm gonna pull another random one down and just see if it's more of the same.
Mhm.
See what other Papermate treasures were offered.
You pull another random one out, and this scroll is it's actually in it's in ancient Latin, is what the scroll is, and at the end of the document,
I just established it.
it's so true.
You all heard it.
Well, you said
So true,
Latin.
bestie.
And do you know ancient Latin?
Isn't all Latin ancient? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm
Don't
pretty
think
sure.
about it. Don't think about
Yeah.
this. Don't question me on this. Sure. Dustin, you see that if you read this was written by since you have established that you read Latin, I guess I didn't foresee this scenario happening, but
I listen. I did not like. You could have just said that this was in anything other than Latin, and I would have been like, he still would have said Latin because,
Mhm.
like, to me, that's one of the most monster hunting languages out there. And
Demons.
so,
Yeah.
yeah,
well, it's valid. Anyway, you read this scroll, and it's sort of it's giving you the same information, kind of in like Papermate pen ink at the bottom of the scroll. It says first account descriptions, and as Cole, you're reading the scroll and you're kind of piecing together all the pieces as you're reading it. This is a first-hand account of one of the first people who like discovered this land that you're on. the land that would become Zorba County.
Right.
I did look it up. There are two pronunciations of Latin. There's the classical that would have been spoken by like Cicero and Ovid and stuff like that, and then there's the ecclesiastical pronunciation, which is used by churches. And
Yeah,
so,
Bartleby actually just said that too
dope.
in chat. Then Cole would absolutely be reading, I guess.
If it's the Latin that you use in monster hunting, I'm assuming it would be the ecclesiastical.
Okay.
Either way, it's the Latin you read. Congratulations.
Okay, cool. Okay, then yes, we'll go with ecclesiastical. That's the Latin. So in the future, if you guys want to write Latin on something and don't want Cole to read it, just make sure it's ancient Roman Latin.
Sounds good. Thank God you let me know. I was putting all my
Yeah.
secrets in ecclesiastical Latin.
So, Cole, do you want everything that this document is describing?
Sure.
Okay. Exposition.
Buckle
Oh
up.
boy. Here we go. Hang on. Let me get my.
So you're reading this first account of this basically this traveler who came across this land before it was before the Pig War, before Zorba County was even an idea. Basically describing like this finding this land and describing features such as like this super foggy area that seems to be like this pit of fog with a menacing aura around it, but then describing as like his fellow shipmates who landed here, they started to, as they traversed the land and sort of took in more of nature and discovered more things, tension started brewing as they stayed there longer. More people became distrustworthy of each other, and infighting started very quickly, before leading to a situation where several of the shipmates attacked each other and led to the death of a few individuals, and that incident causing these original travelers to basically deciding we have to get out of here, because any kind of situation in olden times you'll find where someone's like, this was not our mistake, this was demons, we gotta get out of here.
Cole will translate that out loud for Fig's sake.
Right. So the high tensions have happened for a long time, and yet there are successful towns that have been here for a while without strife.
I mean, I've lived here my whole life, and it's never been, murder someone in the middle of a street bad. Well, I mean, other than, I guess, psychopaths.
Well, I guess there's something happening now. I mean, this is all very weird.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, I guess, multiple instances of something like this happening since you said you saw it too. And I mean, even Arthur's had randomly attacked us before.
You're not wrong.
As you guys are talking and sort of reading over this, you hear 4 sets of footsteps coming down the hall. At the same time that you're spending, because I'm going to say that you were spending a good amount of time like reading this. It's a long scroll, sort of get the whole story. At the same time this is happening, Arthur and Ren, and of course, Atticus Campbell, you go into testing. Right, just to clarify, you guys said testing.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. You go into testing and you see this medical lab. It's much better lit than the hallway. And there are these countertops with a bunch of different lab equipment, and little jars and vials that have been sealed very tightly of this red mist. Like it's somewhat in between the state of liquid and air, uh, as this weird energy is sort of pulsating through these several jars and vials of this substance. And there's a laptop. There's some.
Kind of
There's cer-
laptop.
there's a laptop. Lenovo. Shout out to Lenovo.
Jesus.
Uh, uh, there are different beakers and testing equipment and scanners, and you see this one rack that's filled with these needles. With these, it's somewhat like uh, it's somewhat like syringes, but it without like sort of instead of like a hand push, it's like an automatic. Like once it's ejected, once it's injected into a person, it like injects the substance inside of them.
Like an
Um,
EpiPen.
yes, basically like an EpiPen that are empty right now, but they're on this rack, and that's the area. You guys can look around and investigate a bit.
So the things of note are these vials full of this strange chemical, or substance.
Yep.
The laptop and these syringes.
Yes.
Is there is this doorway the only entrance and exit into this room?
You see, um, that the at the back of this room, there's a doorway that leads into that leads into this like open space. Not like open as in uh, it's like the same size as the room you're in, but the only thing in it is this uh, is something glowing that you can't make out through the small window of the door.
So there's something glowing on the other side of this door.
Yes.
And there is a window.
Yes, but it's like it's one of those things that's like it has like the hash marks
Oh,
on the window, so like and it's like blurry. You can't like look through and be like I'm spying on people.
sure. Um, Arthur's going to approach the chemicals. This like
Okay.
red semi liquid semi gaseous substance.
Okay. You go up and you see this like energy, and if you hold up your hand to it, it's kind of like a plasma ball, but like before you even touch it, it's like it's yes, exactly. So like when you touch a plasma ball, the electricity like goes up into your hand before you even are touching the glass. It's already like going towards your hand, and like it's reaching out to you.
Mm.
Um, Arthur's gonna kind of look back at Ren and say, I'm definitely out of my depth here.
Makes two of us. I don't look at the. I guess I can look at the laptop, but I don't even know where to begin with the rest of this room.
Arthur really only has like one thing other than like the base moves of investigate a mystery and read a bad situation. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing, Keeper. if you will allow
Okay.
me. I would like to use my sensitive move to open my mind to the psychic environment.
Mm,
Um,
Mm.
that's
uh,
fun. I
Mm.
like that. That makes
and
me happy.
on a 10 or more, you gain a definite impression, a vision, a tangible aura, overheard thought about something important. On a 7 to 9, you gain a hazy impression about something important. And on a miss, your brain makes contact with something dangerous. And
Ah.
so the last time that Arthur did this was during Mars's Mystery while we were in the forest.
Okay.
And what they heard at that time was just rage filled screaming everywhere. And so that's why they haven't done it since, is because they're just like, I think right now they think maybe they're far enough down underground that miasma of just screaming is not going to be there anymore. But I think what I'm trying to specifically figure out is, this red substance, like, does it give a similar vibe
Okay.
as to what is being felt up above, or is it something completely different?
Mm-hmm. All right. I guess make a roll for that.
Good luck.
Thanks. It's a plus weird. That's my plus to weird. Okay.
Ooh.
Thank you.
That's fun.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's a 5 and a 3, so it's an 8.
Okay.
So I gain a hazy impression about something important.
Okay, so you rolled a 5. So you. What's your weird? Like the total
0.
was 8.
Correct. My
Oh, okay.
total is 8.
Okay. So you get a hazy impression.
Correct.
Okay. You look at this red substance, this sort of gaseous, liquid, so almost uh, it's almost like waves of fire, like soot and ash and things. And so you sort of expand your mind out into the area, and you certainly, and just as you thought, you are getting hints of that rage that you were sensing so heavily outside in this room with you, especially coming from the glowing of the back room. But even just in the vial in your hand, or the vial that you're looking at, you get this sense of this is almost like pure concentrated rage that's just been kept in this testing facility. And you, as you're sort of out, you get a sense that this is not just the only place that this is being kept. This substance, there are different signs of it deeper down into the darkness.
Arthur's gonna kind of like pull his hand back and take a couple steps back, sever the connection, look at Ren and say, "Do you remember when I told you about everything screaming on the psychic level up top?"
Yeah.
And it wasn't a scream of pain, it was a scream of rage and anger. That, and he points to the material and the substance, and he's like, that's just that concentrated, that feeling, that rage, that anger, just concentrated. I don't even know how that's possible, but I'm feeling it through there too. And he points through to the door that's glowing on the other side.
Ooh, that's not terrifying at all.
There's a lot more than just this.
Yeah. I don't know what comes next. As much as I want to investigate the rage door, I have a feeling coming into contact with this stuff would be bad, and we don't know if, you know, there's something holding it behind that rage door, or if it's just like loose, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there would be only one way to find out, and that's opening the door.
Yeah. But of all the people here, I guess I guess I wouldn't want Philip to be here, but I feel like the two of us are not super suited for this. I guess no one is, but I mean, you don't have your sword.
Which means I'm technically less of a danger.
Yeah.
I
But I
could
don't-
open the door.
Suddenly, this fucking
Oh,
this rodent just like
Hello,
jiggles on the doorknob. I'm sure
my tiny
raccoons
raccoon
aren't
hands.
new rodents, but
They're not.
I
It's
think
fine.
they're marsupials. No,
No, they're
just
not.
mammals.
yeah, they're mammals. We're sure
They're
of that
mammals,
one
for
for
sure.
sure.
Raccoons are, I think, more related to like weasels potentially.
Interesting.
Wacky.
that sounds
Um,
right.
They are carnivores, carnivora.
Keeper. At what point do we
Raccoons,
hear the footsteps?
ringtails. Sorry.
You don't hear them yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think Arthur just looks at Ren and says, "I'm not gonna move if you don't. I'm not gonna make any moves if you don't want me to. So if you just want to go tell Fig and Cole what we found, we can do that."
Just I worry about. I don't want you getting hurt, you know, or
I'll
any
be
sort of-
fine. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, but if you go berserk, I don't want to have to stop you from hurting anyone else.
If I go berserk, you're the only one I trust to stop me.
All right. There's no way else we could do this. It's just opening this door.
Would you like me?
wanna-
I can open the door.
Atticus, I really don't want to fucking deal with a rabid raccoon right now.
I mean, Arthur's wanted to punch me all day. I'd be giving him what he'd want.
He is true. That is true.
It wouldn't be satisfying if you're an animal,
Okay.
especially
I don't
a
know how to
small
take
one
that
like
one.
that.
Yeah,
I
we don't
suplexed
want to
a mountain
accidentally.
lion, and that was pretty cool. But
You don't want to
punching a raccoon's
accidentally
definitely
kill
a
your
step before
raccoon
the
body.
underneath that.
Okay, well, who's opening the door then?
I guess Ren will just look at Arthur.
Arthur, I guess, will walk over to the door and put his hand on the handle.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Just a quick peek, right? Just open and close.
Yep. I guess.
Arthur's gonna open the door.
You open the door. Inside is this super dark, almost like soundproof padded room. And in the middle is this big glass jar that is filled with this red energy. And it's sort of attached to this apparatus that's almost like a water spout that leads that basically that you can tell, like, you could screw on one of those glass vials or jars to this spout and sort of pour this rage energy into the bottle for it. Just being in front of this and opening the door, you feel like this heat that is absent from how cold the rest of this facility is. And Arthur, you sort of, it's one of those things where you get these waves of just pressure on your chest, as like you're not fully consumed by it, but you feel like this rage sort of in your chest, that if this is how you feel when just in the presence of this amount of energy that's being insulated by the material in this room,
Yeah.
you sort of get the idea that if you were exposed to this substance, actually, it would cause a real problem that you're worried about. But just being in this right now is just giving you tension.
Cool. I'm going to close the door, and turn back to Ren, and I'm gonna ask a question for them. And my question is, are my eyes bloodshot?
Your eyes are not. They're like just a hint of bloodshot. Like it's not even like a thing. It's just like it looks like you might start to
The
cry.
veins are there, but they haven't popped.
Yeah.
Okay. Or like the veins are more pronounced, I guess, because there's always veins in your eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Arthur just kind of like looks at Ren, and just like, takes a couple of calming breaths, because I'm sure like, their body has tensed up. Like any kind of like veins have probably come to the surface of like blood is pumping. They've had like a physical reaction to just being in the presence of this substance, this concentrated pillar of substance. And Arthur's going to look at Ren and say, there's a shit ton of that stuff in this room. And it seems like it's where they're siphoning it.
Definitely don't like that, but you're okay.
I mean, I need like a couple of seconds to just calm down.
As you say that, you hear 4 sets of footsteps walking down the hallway. We are now time synchronized. Do you all look out the door, walk out into the hallway?
Which direction are they coming from?
They're coming from the direction you came from. You don't know like which hallway they came from.
Right, but they're not coming from further down the hall.
They're not coming from the dark abyss.
Okay. Cole will look at Fig, and then to the door, and then he's gonna go to the door.
Okay. Are you opening it? Are you cracking it open? Are you just trying to peek out the window?
We'll start by peeking out the window, and if I can't see anything, crack the door. Basically, progressiveness.
Okay. Ren and Arthur, do you guys do a similar thing? Do you just try to hide? Do you look out the window? Again, the window is the same kind of material that the other door is, where it's kind of foggy.
Right, it's like frosted over or something.
Yeah.
But there is a place where Ren and Arthur could stand, in which they are not like,
Yes.
In the viewpoint of the door.
Yeah, you could stand basically like right against the wall, the same wall as the door, or you could hide in the rage room.
I don't think we want to do that.
I really don't want to do that. I thought about it. Not gonna lie, I thought about it, but
I'm terrified we're going to have to hide in the rage room.
I mean, I think Arthur's going to kind of quietly make his way over to that wall where the door is, while at the same time keeping an eye out for a possible weapon that they could use.
Okay. Yeah. Ren, do you follow his lead?
Yeah, I think if it's all right with you, so I feel like Ren might be leading this a little, just because Arthur's still rage disoriented.
That's totally fine.
Ren just kind of putting their hand on Arthur's like shoulder, I guess, and like
leading them,
nodding towards the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cole, as you look out the window, you can't really. All you see is 4 figures of equal height, walking in a perfect line next to each other down the hallway, with their eyes glowing red. You can't make out any other features outside of that. The hallway's too dark and the glass is too foggy.
Their eyes are glowing, Fig.
Oh God. Do we hide?
No, I don't think we do.
Cole, do you open the door?
And Cole opens the door.
Okay, Cole, you walk
Unless
out.
Fig stops him. Fig, like he's not doing this in a way that's like you can't stop me.
You can't stop me.
But like if Fig does nothing, he is opening the door.
I think it's a terrible idea, but
he's like, Fig,
Fig
stop
is
me,
gonna-
Fig, stop me, Fig, stop me.
I think Fig is gonna. She didn't see them herself, so she's just gonna.
Let Cole.
Yeah, man. I think that.
Okay.
I think she'll let Cole do what he's doing, and she'll ready her kukri.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, keeper.
You're blindly walking into danger. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thanks. Just making sure.
Can you read exactly what that says?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, hold 2. You may spend your hold to inflict 1 harm, reduce someone's harm by 1, or take +2 forward on act under pressure.
Okay. We will. I will describe what you see, and then we can figure out what we're doing after that. Cole, you open the door, and I assume you walk out into the hallway, or you just like leaning in, like hello.
Again, I think he's going to kind of peek a bit further to make sure they're not like, I don't know, raccoons with glowing red eyes or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, okay. I
like,
gotcha.
but
I gotcha.
but if they do look like they're, I don't know, on a mission or something, and they're not the mayor or whatever, these may be the only people that we have to get some kind of information from.
Okay. You creak open the door a bit, and you look out, and the 4 figures have stopped in front of the 2 doors that the testing door and the filing door, which I'm just going to say for the sake of convenience are around the same area. They've stopped in front of them, and you see, and you look down into this hallway, and in the dim light, you see the 4 members of the not so famous K-pop group. Don't ask. Their skin pale and their eyes.
I knew they were
going
going to
red
show up again somewhere
as they bare their fangs. And that's where we're going to end this session.
All right.
Right?
What did they do to Philip?
That's the end of the session. What they do to Sasha is the real
No,
question.
I'm asking
No!
the end of the session. I'm asking the end of the session
Don't
questions,
you
keeper.
fucking dare.
Yes. That is the end of the session, of course, which brings us to end of session questions. 1. Did you conclude the current mystery?
No.
Did you save someone from certain death or worse?
Well, it depends on what would have happened if we'd left the cops to question them.
Yeah,
That is
that's true.
That is true. I think that's totally valid. Yes, things would have gotten a lot worse. And so yes, I'm totally comfortable with saying that is 1 yes.
Nice.
Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Tunnel.
What the
so.
fuck is happening? But yes.
At the very least, tunnels under an already developed city.
Yeah.
Tunnels, the whatever's on the papyrus, the weird red powder spear mist stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. And did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Yes, actually, we learned that that Rin has a brain friend.
That is true. That was shared.
Mhm. You also
And
learned Ren has a
also-
vampire friend.
Yes,
and
that was
Also, that's true.
also that true.
doesn't like hospitals.
I'm cool with saying 3 yes, Mark II experience.
Hey, I level up. Love to see it.
Cool, cool. Yes, and so with that, I think we are done for this session. I will thank you, my amazing players, for dealing with my insanity. Next session, I'm very excited for and hope it will be as weird as I want it to be. Thank you, viewers, for coming out. Come check the next session, which will probably and hopefully be the final session of my mystery, and then after that, we got the finale.
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
So
Yeah, thank you, Chris. This was a lot of fun.
thank you.
This was a very fun session.
Yeah.
Yes. So if no one else has anything else to say, I will say so long, farewell, drink some water, hug a loved one, whether that be family, friend, someone of other status in your life. As long as they want you to hug them, hug them.
Consent is key.
Consent is key.
I'm dropping all the links in chat for the moment, so please follow us on social media if you haven't already. Go check out
Yes.
Chris's portfolio.
Thank you.
Go follow Dustin on Twitch. Go check out Mars's One Page RPG and their one shot that they'll be playing on June 24th and at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then also, if you are in the position to support the charity, please feel free to do so. But otherwise, yeah, hope you all have a good night. Please go stream Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a fantastic movie.
So good.
And be kind to yourselves.
We love you.
We love you. So long.
Good night,
You-
guys.
Good night, everybody.
We love you.
Have a wonderful week.
Thanks to the musical guest, me.
Make sure to stretch.